And just like that, we are back in business. We are live. Welcome back, y'all, to another live stream. Normally, I live stream on Wednesday nights, but instead, I put out a video yesterday and then I pushed back the live stream to tonight. So tonight is Wake 'em Up Thursday. Yes, a special Thursday edition of the Wake 'em Up Wednesday show. But really, you know what difference does it make what day I stream? All that matters is that you show up, you watch, you enjoy it, you hit the thumbs up button, you leave me a comment, and then we do it all over again. All right. You guys ready to have some fun tonight? I hope so. All right. Looks like I got my people already showing up here, and it looks like you guys are ready to party. Got Truth Hurts. He says, woo! Exclamation point. That's what he said. And no, I did not pay him to be that excited. I wasn't like, hey, bro, Truth Hurts, bro. I need you to show up and pretend to be super excited, like you're one of those girls who's pissing your panties when you see Elvis. I need you to pretend that you're about to pass out with excitement because of how awesome and exciting my show is for you. Can you do that for me, Truth Hurts? All right. But don't blow my cover. Don't make it obvious. All right, man? Cool. That didn't happen. You guys ready to have some fun? Rose Bell here. Hi, Rose. Hi. All right, I see Suzette Ann is here. She says she's ready to rock. All right. I don't know about you, but I want to rock, rock. I want to rock, rock. All right. There you go. All right. Hello to everyone indeed. All right. Good times. Insane in the Brain says, get them shill bags at Jake the Awake. Yes, tonight we're going to be busting some shill bags, some scammers, some liars. Some of these guys you may have heard of, maybe some of them you haven't, but after tonight, you're going to know all about these dirty deceivers and all of their dirty deeds. All right. You guys ready to get started? All right. Before we kick it off with the first video, I got some super chats that came a rolling in before the show even started. RY is back, and he's coming in with the first super chat of the night. And he says, everyone, please give a thumbs up and a sub if you haven't for another Wake 'em Up Thursday with Sir Jacobson Gibson the Awake. JTA using his comedic talent to expose the BS, liars, and shills for what they are. Much love. Yes, all of that shall be happening here tonight. And this isn't my first rodeo. This is not the first time I've exposed Owen Benjamin. But I don't know if you guys have seen, but Owen Benjamin has been getting promoted recently. He went on Tucker Carlson's show, and they got over 1 million views. Yeah, Tucker Carlson brought Owen Benjamin on to kiss his ass and talk about how he's the most censored comic on the internet. Yeah, we're going to be looking at that tonight. And whenever I bust Owen Benjamin and I can show proof that he's a scammer that acquired his land through a devious scam where he took a bunch of donations from his biggest fans and promised them a 2-week vacation spot on his land whenever they wanted. And then once he acquired hundreds of thousands of dollars, he bought this land and built this house. And then he told all his fans that only people who he invites are allowed to stay 1 weekend out of the year when he says so. So once he scammed his fans and changed the rules, well, A lot of fans were really pissed off at Owen Benjamin, but now enough time has gone by. Years have went by that a lot of people have forgot. So now Owen Benjamin's getting the push on the world stage again. So I'm going to be breaking that down tonight and showing you guys uh, all the classic examples of Owen Benjamin's fast talking and how he finagled the land and home that he currently resides in from his most loyal fans during the height of COVID. All that and much more. So stick around tonight. I'm also going to be deep diving into the Chris Johnson ALS story from my last video, but I'm going to be showing some more stuff that I didn't show in the video. So got a good one. And if there's time, maybe I'll go kick Fittest Flat Earther in the balls, you know. Virtual kick in the balls, that is. So if we have a little time left, maybe, just maybe, I'll show you one of Fittest Flat Earther's latest retardation videos. And we'll talk a little about that. So plenty to cover tonight. It's going to be a full stream tonight. So strap in for some good times. And I'm going to test out some new material tonight as well. So I'm excited. It's one of those nights where I feel like I'm well prepared. I got plenty of clips, plenty of bits and stuff to talk about. So yeah. RY with the second super chat of the night says, I know a lot of talented people. Oh, you want me to do a Trump impression? He says, Trump, I know a lot of talented people, but none more talented than Jake the Awake. He's a lot of genius, that guy. In fact, if it wasn't for Jake the Awake, I would have never discovered Richie from Boston's organic Bible vape juice. And if it wasn't for that Bible vape juice, my ass would still have Chinese nanobots galore. But that's another story. So one of the reasons why I wanted to come on here and speak live is to tell you that I've been feeling much better. There's a lot of rumors being passed around by the Democrats about my declining health. None of it's true. I actually feel healthier than ever, and it's mostly due to this organic Bible vape juice, in which I shall partake right now. That stuff's made right here in the good old United States of America, the hottest country in the world. You won't find anything like this in China. All right, there you go. Just for you, RY. All right, RY coming in with the third super chat of the night. You guys, RY is a hardcore supporter of the channel. And, sometimes his requests might be a little silly. But you know what? There's nights where I enjoy it. There's so much nasty negativity and doom and gloom being passed around in the world. And there's times where, you know what? The only way I can go on living in this shitty hellhole is to make myself laugh, to amuse myself, and try and amuse you guys as well. So with the help of RY and some of his silly requests, I'm going to do my best to try and get you to crack a smile, maybe even bust a gut tonight. So with that said, Jake, I want to thank you for doing this live special, exposing Owen Benjamin. I've fired a lot of people in my time. I was on a very popular TV show, and I used to fire these seedy characters on a nightly basis. And it gives me great pleasure to say, Owen Benjamin, you're fired. There you go. Just for you, man. Firing of Owen Benjamin. All right. RY coming in with the fourth super chat of the night. All right. Let me see what I can do here with this one. RY wants a Fittest Flat Earther. Oh, I see what you want. You want Fittest Flat Earther to claim that Chris Johnson is Busta Rhymes. Very clever, RY. You know what? I might just have something for you. I may or may not have something for you. first, I got to get into character. So, I have something to tell you guys tonight, and if you've never seen my videos before, well, it's safe to assure you that your mind is most definitely going to be blown tonight, because these fallen angels, they think they can deceive the world, but they can't deceive me. And that's because, well, I found something that I wasn't expecting to find. And right now there's a story about Chris Johnson, and he's suffering from ALS. However, I'm not so sure that's what's going on. In fact, the more I looked into this character, the more I discovered things that only the fallen angels who've mated with the Nephilim would be able to accomplish. And just when I thought that this sneaky shapeshifter might actually be telling the truth, then I found this. This is serious, and it will make you delirious. This is dangerous. So dangerous. So dangerous. This whole entire shape-shifting unit is dangerous. Because as you can see, Chris Johnson is Busta Rhymes. Clearly in a side-by-side comparison, you can see the symmetry. But don't take my word for it. Have a closer look. I mean, clearly, these sneaky shapeshifters thought that they could pull a fast one, but you gotta wake up pretty early in the morning if you want to try and fool me. And even if you do wake up as early as possible, you're not going to be able to deceive me. And that's because I've been blessed by the Heavenly Father with the ability to see through these sneaky shapeshifters. And I just hope that by me making these videos, I can help more people to wake up to these shape-shifting abilities of these fallen angels. Now, some people might say that what I'm doing is disgusting because they actually think that Chris Johnson has ALS, but really, you're being deceived because actually, Busta Rhymes, he doesn't have ALS at all. And you can see by his all-mocking smile that the truth is in plain sight. Chris Johnson and Busta Rhymes, this is the same shape-shifting entity. All right, there you go. All right. Oh. I had to do a little pre-show preparation for that one. Lucky for me, RY sent these super chats like a half hour early. So I spotted that one and I was like, all right, let me quickly whip together a picture. It'll make it a lot more funny if I have something to point at, right? So there you guys go. That's a brand new bit right there. Testing out some new material. What do you guys think? All right. So thank you for RY for the comedic suggestion. This would never have came to life had RY not sent the super chat. See this? Yeah. This only exists because of this. See? All right. All right, let's move along. We got Big Money Bob hooking up 5 Jake the Awake memberships. Hell yeah. And that's where you can watch my top secret fittest flat earther parodies at your leisure. And I just might have a new parody coming your way soon for all you members out there. So be on the lookout for that coming your way very soon. All right, Truther Terrorist with a very generous donation says, Jake, I want to thank you for making me laugh like never before from your last 2 videos. It started with the Bill Gates Hawking meme and then the Chris Johnson ALS clone. Thanks, Jake. P.S. Owen Benjamin is a shill bag. So you guys, tonight, I want to point out that there's a guy being promoted who's labeled a comedian. Yet I've never seen this fool do anything funny in my life, right? So I'm going to be busting Owen Benjamin later tonight. And people say he's a comedian, but I swear the dude has never done anything funny. And he's mostly infamous in my mind for being a fucking scammer. So tonight, what I want to do is make you guys laugh and do it with my own patented, unscripted version of comedy that nobody else can do except for me. And I'm going to show you guys what a real man of funny business looks like and sounds like and acts like. And I'm going to do it without scamming a bunch of people in the process in order to acquire land in a mansion. Yes, that's right. I'm going to try and make you guys laugh tonight without trying to fast talk you into donating to Bear Tardia. Like, that other comic Owen Benjamin did. All right. All right. So, Truth or Terrorists. I appreciate that you enjoyed the last 2 videos. The last video that I put out, not getting very many views. But the people who did watch it seemed to think it was funny, and they commented how much they liked it. So I got a ton of engagement in the comments section, to the point where I have more comments on a video with a very low view count than channels that have high view counts have comments. So I'm getting more comments than channels that get 10 times the amount of views. Think about that. You go to my comment section of my last video, there's like 500 comments. And then there's only like 4,000 views. And then you go to a channel that's getting like 60,000 views or 100,000 views, and you look in the comments section and you only see 300-400 comments. Something going on here. So I'm getting good engagement on the video, but the view count, man, not so much. So I'm glad at least somebody watched it and enjoyed it. So thank you, Truth or Terrorists, for checking out the last video and enjoying it. Speaking of Bill Gates and Stephen Hawking, I've actually been working on my Stephen Hawking robot voice impression. So tonight I was going to show you guys, my updated impression of Stephen Hawking. So stick around for that. It's going to be a good one. In fact, since you brought up Bill Gates and Stephen Hawking right here, I'm going to go ahead and debut my brand new updated Stephen Hawking impression, right? So you guys have heard me do the Stephen Hawking impression where I mumble and then use a human interpreter. This is the updated robot voice version of Stephen Hawking. And I've been practicing a lot. So here we go.
Communicate with a computer system in the box in the back of my wheelchair. This system was put together for me by David Mason of Cambridge Adaptive Communications. On the computer, I run a program called Equalizer. A cursor moves across the upper part of the screen. I can stop it by pressing a switch in my hand. In this way, I can select words which are printed on the lower part of the screen. When I have built up a sentence, I can send it to a speech synthesizer. I use a separate synthesizer, made by Speech Plus, a division of Sendagram Communications Corporation. I can save what I write on it. I write papers using a formatting program called TeX. I can write equations in words, and the program translates them into symbols and prints them out on paper in the appropriate type. I can also give lectures. I write a lecture beforehand and save it on disk. I can then send it to the speech synthesizer, a sentence at a time. It works quite well, and I can try out the lecture and polish it before I give it. In a similar way, I can make a CD-ROM. But to do this, I need a little help from my friends. I get by with a little help from my friends. I get by.
Ta-da! There you go. So that's my updated Stephen Hawking impression. Hope you guys enjoyed that. It takes a lot of work to hone these impressions, right? And I know some of you guys you get tired of the same old impressions, so I updated that one, right? You're welcome. All right. Moving on. All right. All Chrome 89 said fittest flat earther showing how Chris Tucker and Kevin Hart are the same person. All right. Sadly, I don't have a picture made up for this one, so you're just gonna have to imagine that I do. So I guess I'm gonna have to pull double duty tonight. I thought that I already blew your mind, but this one, it might take what's left of your blown mind, and you might never be the same person again once I show you that this sneaky shapeshifter, Chris Tucker, he's also playing the role of this sneaky shapeshifter, Kevin Hart. And you might be wondering how a small guy like Kevin Hart is able to shapeshift into someone much taller like Chris Tucker. Well, these fallen angels, sometimes they utilize stilts. Or sometimes they just shapeshift. And so I wouldn't put it past them to not only be shapeshifting, but also be using stilts at the same time. So just because one of these entities appears to be much taller than the other, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a different person. In fact, they're the same person, and they're vampires. There you go. All right. Now, I wish I had a picture of Kevin Hart and Chris Tucker all set up and ready to go, but I didn't. All right. The Great Bamboozler says, do Jake the Asshole impersonating Flat Earth Asshole, trying to do an impersonation of Jake the Awake. Ah, good one. Hey, guys, Flat Earth Asshole here. But now I'm sick of talking about the flat earth because it's full of nothing but shills. So now I'm going to change my name to Jake the Asshole. And I'm going to talk about all sorts of stuff. And then, years later, I'm going to get sick of calling myself an asshole. And I'm going to feel as though I've outgrown the moniker asshole. And I feel like I'm being shadow banned and held back by the name asshole. So now I'm going to change my name to Jake the Awake. to make myself more algorithm friendly and more search result friendly and more shareable so that you can share me without having to use the word or think of an asshole. And it turns out didn't really seem to matter much. I pretty much still get shitty view counts, and then once in a while, I get a decent view count. But I have the most awesome audience on all of YouTube, no matter what you decide to call me. So whether you want to call me Jake the Asshole, Flat Earth Asshole, or Jake the Awake, or whatever else you decide to call me, I'm just glad I have this awesome audience to do what I'm doing right now for. So thank you everyone for being here and all these super chats and all the support. It's fucking awesome and I love it. And I'm going to keep on keeping on. We're going to get through the shitty times together. All right, here we go. All right, so Great Bamboozler, thank you for that super chat. No one's ever asked me to do that impression before. All right. New Tartarians says, hello, Sir Jake. I stayed at an Airbnb, and for some reason, I felt suspicious of the host. Finally, I realized he looked like fittest flat earther with a small chin. I found peace, left 5 stars, and tried to move on. Fittest flat earther with a small chin? It's like I can't even imagine it. Right? It's like I only know him with his gigantic chin, right? Yeah, if I want to do my fittest flat earther impression, I have to like elongate my chin, right? I have to use my magical shape-shifting ability and be like, all right, I'm going to take my regular size chin that's not freakishly long and there. See? Doesn't it seem like it's twice as big now? Shape-shifting. Fallen angel. All right. All right. Hold on, I might have skipped one. RY says, if Chris Johnson has ALS, why is he not sitting in a special wheelchair like Stephen Hawking? And why does he look as good as he did in that interview? So we're going to get to that later on when I pull up that clip. We'll start with that. I'll pull up the interview and we'll watch the whole thing, the unedited version, and I'll show you guys what a lot of people are pointing out. So the comment I got a lot, and it kind of shocked me how many times I got the same comment. People are saying that they don't think it's the same Chris Johnson from the NFL. So here, I got it right here for you. So this is going to come up tonight right here, is that you look up a picture of Chris Johnson from when he played in the NFL and then from the interview. Like, are you sure it's the same guy? Are we sure that's the same guy? What about this one? See? So in the comments section, I got tons of people saying they don't think it's the same Chris. And I didn't like start my video by saying that. I didn't force that opinion on people. That's just what people are saying, right? Without even me making my video, people were saying they don't think it's the same Chris. So they may have definitely whipped out imposter Chris for the interview. All right. Truth or Terrorist says, I cannot disclose my identity to you just yet, but you will know me before year's end, and I will make sure your channel blows up and goes viral like it deserves. Oh, well, that'd be nice. Hey, you know, if I can just make it to football season, I usually get a boost when football season rolls around because all the disgruntled sports fans come back for my top 10 most rigged plays of the week series. So right now, summertime is a bit slow. The news cycle's slow because of the World Cup and there's no big scripted psyops going on, and the weather is hot, or a lot of people are out enjoying the summer and doing stuff, so not as many people watch YouTube during the summer. So right now, I'm just doing what I can to come up with some fun ideas for us to enjoy. And the ALS interview by Chris Johnson, like, it ties right in with like the Stephen Hawking technology, which I've talked about many times. So at least I was able to find this story tonight to talk about. And then I found Owen Benjamin doing Tucker Carlson. So I thought, all right, I could probably make a whole show out of this. So yeah, man, do whatever you can to blow up the channel. That'd be cool. I would appreciate it. Hey, anybody want to share my stuff and help me out, please do. I could use all the help I can get. All right. Lint Away Duct Cleaning says, you are a comedy genius. Oh, thank you. I'll try my best to live up to that tonight. Like I do every night. All right. I believe that is the last of the super chats. If I missed any, please let me know. But I think I caught up on all of them, and we can go ahead and kick this show off with the Chris Johnson ALS interview, because I'm interested to see what you guys have to say about this. I showed a few minutes of his interview in my last video, but it's actually like a 10-minute interview. So there's a lot that I left out. So I figured I'd throw that on tonight, and we could dive into it a little deeper. And I want to see what you guys have to say, of course, because I know you guys have some funny stuff to say about this. I can always trust my audience to indulge in the same type of humor that I enjoy. So with that said, you guys ready? Let's boogie.
Chris Johnson, one of the fastest running backs in NFL history, shattered records throughout his career. 80-yard run. So fast, he earned the nickname CJ2K.
Chris Johnson is going to have a Titans touchdown.
He retired in 2017 and has been out of the spotlight. But today, he is sharing something deeply personal.
You've chosen to share some personal news today, and it takes a tremendous amount of courage to share it. What would you like for people to know?
First, I want people to know that I'm still me. ALS has changed what my body can do, but it hasn't changed who I am.
In 2025, at the age of 39, Johnson was diagnosed with ALS. The disease progressing so rapidly that he now uses his eyes to trigger a speech-generating device to speak.
Why do you want to share this now?
Because if sharing my story helps even one person get diagnosed sooner, inspires more research, or gives another family hope, then it's worth it.
Johnson says he was in the prime of his life, working out daily and running errands with his 4 children until ALS changed everything.
Let's go back to last year. When did you notice that something was off?
I first noticed weakness in my right hand. At first, it was little things like my grip didn't feel right, and I wasn't as strong as I've always been.
His wife, Brittany, thought it was something much simpler.
Brittany, what did you think it was?
All right, so it's ALS victim here, former football player Chris Johnson. So the story goes, you guys, he played so much pretend football that he now has this terrible, debilitating disease, ALS. And he most definitely probably got it from playing all that fake, phony football in the National Fixed League. Because let's face it, the NFL is pretend football. And Chris Johnson had a long, lengthy career as a starting running back in the NFL. He played many years with the Tennessee Titans, and then he played a few seasons with the Cardinals as well, right? So I would argue that being he played many years in a phony sports league where they play pretend football and they fleece the sports gamblers, I would argue that that makes Chris not a trustworthy guy. So if he's going to go on TV and claim to have this disease and claim that there needs to be more research done, while Michael Strahan advocates that the audience donate and that there needs to be funding raised to find a cure for ALS. When I see all that going on, I can't trust the guy who played fake phony football when he's on a television screen talking about his supposed illness diagnosis. So I have to start by asking simple questions. And the first simple question, how do I even know that that's the real Chris Johnson who played in the NFL? And that's the question a lot of people are asking. So like I showed earlier, you take a look at some old photos of Chris Johnson and you do a side-by-side comparison. I can't say for sure that the guy on the left who played in the NFL is the same guy as the guy on the right in the interview. I'll show a different comparison. So there's some similarities. They look similar, but I can't say for sure that that is the same Chris Johnson. And then this one, later on in his career, when he had like the tats and the gold teeth and all this stuff, this one doesn't look like him at all. And he conveniently has the tattoos covered up in the interview, right? We don't see the gold teeth or the tats at all in the interview, conveniently. So I would argue it might not be Chris Johnson from the NFL. And a bunch of you guys agree. That was one of the top comments that I got over and over and over again, is that a lot of you guys don't think it's the same Chris Johnson. And I think that that very well could be the case here, that this is a imposter Chris Johnson pretending to be an ALS victim. All right.
Always been.
His wife, Brittany, thought it was something much simpler.
Brittany, what did you think it was at the time?
I thought because of football and, you know, his career, that it had to be something with that, maybe a pinched nerve or something along those lines. But
I thought maybe it had to be something to do with his football or like a pinched nerve or something. I think it was that football that he was playing. I think maybe it done pinched one of his nerves, but I never thought it could be ALS.
never ALS.
And what did doctors tell you initially about your condition?
We hoped it was something else, but after thorough testing, they finally came down with a diagnosis of ALS. They told us about a medication that might extend life by a few months. Then they told us to get our affairs in order. It was hard hearing that. But
all right, so Suzette Ann says there's no way he could move his eyes fast enough to say all those words so quickly. So the story is that he's using a very similar technology to Stephen Hawking, and that he can choose the words on the screen with his eyes, and that it has AI, or word predicting technology, that the artificial intelligence can predict what your eyes are most likely going to select next, and it will give you these words for you to select with your eyes, and it'll predict the words that you're most likely going to say or that you want to choose from. See? So that's their story. So the people who believe in this, they're going to clap back with what I just said, right? They're not going to be like, oh shit, you're right. So the people who believe in this, they have their built-in excuse. And the excuse is what I just told you, that it's a speech generator, and it has AI predictive technology to help him choose the next word with his eyeballs. Hey, as long as they have a explanation that sounds plausible to a television watching sheep, that's all they need, right? So sadly, this small group is one of the only groups of people who's going to look at this with a skeptical mind, right? We're the only ones who are going to run this through any scrutiny. What we're doing right now We're like the only ones in the world who would do this. And the people who believe in this, they think we're all pieces of shit for not believing that he has ALS and not being sad. So to outsiders, what we're doing here, being skeptical of liars, because that's what we're doing. We're being skeptical of lying, of liars on TV, right? So just this little group being skeptical here, we're like the only ones who dare to do this. And to outsiders, we look like total pieces of shit. And me, I look like the biggest piece of shit of all, because I don't think it's sad that this guy has ALS and he got it from playing all those years of pretend football. And having this point of view is too out there. It's too radical to ever go viral or be mainstream. Nobody's going to come along and agree with me and promote me for having this opinion, right? Or nobody's going to come along and promote you guys for having this opinion, right? So any of you guys agreeing with me in the chat, nobody's going to be like, wow, would you like to come on my show on TV and tell people all about this and expose this to the world? No. So I'm not going to get invited to go on Tucker Carlson and expose this shit. Oh, but who got to go on Tucker Carlson's show lately? Oh, Owen Benjamin, who definitely won't expose this. Yeah, we'll get to that later. All right. Now I'm going off on a tangent. Let's get back in the groove here.
After watching Good Morning America and seeing Dr. Merritt with Eric Dane, we reached out to her. She was willing.
Oh, shit, this is my favorite part. This is where he says that he watched Good Morning America, which I thought was the funniest part of the whole damn interview. I watched Good Morning America. Just him claiming he watched Good Morning America. So full of shit.
You initially about your condition?
We hoped it was something else, but after thorough testing, they finally came down with a diagnosis of ALS. They told us about a medication that might extend life by a few months. Then they told us to get our affairs in order. It was hard hearing that, but after watching Good Morning America and seeing Dr. Merritt with Eric Dane, we reached out to her. She was willing to think more creative.
After watching Good Morning America with Eric Dane. Sorry, dude. That's the least Chris Johnson line of all. So they want us to believe that homeboy with the gold teeth here, right? I watched Good Morning America with Chris Dane, and I was like, man, that's the best damn Good Morning America episode I ever saw. And then I reached down and tried to scratch my nuts, and then I realized I was having trouble moving my hand, and I was not able to scratch my nuts sufficiently. And so then I turned to my wife and I said, I think something's wrong. And then she said, I'm going to call an ambulance. And so that's when we went to the hospital, and I realized I might have ALS. And then when we did the test, I never thought I would actually have ALS, but then it turned out I did have ALS. And the whole time I was watching Good Morning America, I couldn't help but wonder if I was ever going to be able to hold my baby girl ever again. All right. There you go.
Offering experimental treatments that might help and advance research.
Dr. Merritt Sikovich is a neurologist and leading ALS researcher at Mass General Brigham Neuroscience Institute.
Chris has been on standard of care, which is about 3 different medications that slow down the illness, but he was also part of a clinical trial.
Yes, many people pointed out that they covered up the neck tats. We also don't get to see him smile and show off them gold teeth, right? That's another thing, like anybody who not only played in the National Fixed League, but they had gold teeth. Anybody who gets gold teeth is just not trustworthy to me. I don't know. Something about guys who get face and or neck tattoos and have gold teeth. Just there's something about them that I just don't find trustworthy, because they seem like the type of person who's going to make a terrible impulse decision without rationally thinking it through or thinking about the future. So I feel like somebody like Chris Johnson, who got them face tats and had the gold teeths, maybe he took a payoff in order for them to use his likeness and image and have someone pretend to be him. So we have to think that possibly the real Chris Johnson maybe just allowed his image and personality to be used, or his likeness to be used in this story. And then they can have a Chris Johnson impersonator lookalike pretend to be Chris Johnson. So perhaps the real Chris Johnson got a payday out of this, but doesn't have to go on camera. Right. And then they can just have his wife go on camera with the lookalike, which will make people think for sure it's the same Chris, because most sheeple wouldn't be able to believe that his wife's going to go on camera and pretend that he has ALS as well, right? So very sneaky the way they involved the girlfriend. What's her face here? Brittany. Yeah. But for all I know, that could be a lookalike Brittany. I really don't know her that well.
A clinical trial, a therapy that decreases inflammation, and I think that helped him a lot.
With no family history of ALS, doctors believe his is a case of sporadic ALS, the most common form of the disease, affecting about 90% of patients, occurring randomly in people with no known family history of ALS.
That's one of the reasons this disease can be so shocking. It can happen to someone who never expected it.
And for me, it's shocking. It's hard to process it for me, because I know you, Chris, from just the incredible athlete that you are. How do you process it?
I know you, Chris, from just incredible athlete that you are. I know you, Chris, from just incredible athlete that you are. Yeah. Some great interview skills there from Strahan. I know you, Chris, from just incredible athlete that you are. What?
Occurring randomly in people with no known family history of ALS.
That's one of the reasons this disease can be so shocking. It can happen to someone who never expected it.
And for me, it's shocking. It's hard to process it for me, because I know you, Chris, from just the incredible athlete that you are. How do you process it?
Honestly, I don't know if you ever fully process it. At first, you're in shock. Then you realize you have two choices. You can give up or you can fight. I chose to fight.
And Brittany, what was it like for you when you found out that Chris had ALS?
All I could think about was our kids and how young they are. Just, you're in denial. You want it to be anything else. You want the doctors to be wrong. The life that we previously had is like now a thing of the past, but we're still hopeful. We're hopeful, that a breakthrough will happen and that, or, God, a miracle will happen,
They're hoping that God, a miracle will happen. We're hoping that God, a miracle will happen.
Hopeful. We're hopeful, that a breakthrough will happen and that, or, God, a miracle will happen,
Yep, she's very hopeful that God, a miracle will happen. All right. Got a request from RY. He wants Ice Cube to weigh in on this. All right. Shoot, man, when I saw what happened to my homeboy Chris Johnson, man, I had to hold back the tears. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn. I was like, oh, hell nah. Can't believe that done happened to Chris Johnson. And then I got blackballed. It reminded me of the time I got blackballed from being on Oprah. And I was like, what? And they was like, oh, hell nah. We ain't trying to have that. And I was like, well, fuck you. And they was like, what? And I was like, yeah. So I ain't trying to hear that. Know what I'm saying? Because, like, you know, I'm like a free thinker. And so since I be having my own thoughts, you know, they be trying to control me. And I wasn't trying to have that. You know what I'm saying? So when I see my boy Chris Johnson and he be dealing with this, I'm like, damn, man, that's heartbreaking. Know what I'm saying? Because, like, he used to be able to play with his daughter. Now, man, he might not be able to play with his daughter ever again, you know. So, like, that's like, you know, extremely heartbreaking. Know what I'm saying? All right, there you go. I haven't done Ice Cube in a while. I had to try and find my Ice Cube energy to make it through. All right. And I see that you have another request for Roseanne and Richie from Boston. Let me finish up this this clip, and then we'll get to I'll do your Roseanne and Richie from Boston one. So I see your requests. Let me finish up this clip real quick, and then I'll knock that one out.
The fight.
And then, Brittany, what was it like for you when you found out that Chris had ALS?
All I could think about was our kids and how young they are. Just, you're in denial. You want it to be anything else. You want the doctors to be wrong. The life that we previously had is like now a thing of the past, but we're still hopeful. We're hopeful, you know, that a breakthrough will happen and that, or, you know, God, a miracle will happen, you know.
And what kind of support has helped you the most through this?
Without a doubt, my wife, Brittany, she hasn't left my side through any of this. My kids are also a huge part of why I keep going. Every day I wake up wanting more time with them to make more memories and just be their dad. They give me a reason to keep fighting.
Love it.
I know, Brittany, the unsung heroes are caregivers. So what has this been like for you?
Oh, it's tough. It's tough. Like, we have good days, we have bad days, you know. Our life has shifted so much and it's a heavy workload, but I have no doubt that this is what, you know, I was called to do.
So how has it progressed?
Just very cold acting, very robotic like the wife.
But I have no doubt that this is what, you know.
Right? Just very emotionless. You guys notice that? Like, you can tell she's not thrilled about having to do this, but she knows in order to maintain that lifestyle and get the big payday, she got to go through with this, right? Who knows? Maybe she's about to laugh. Maybe she's holding back laughter.
You know, I was called to do.
So how has it progressed since you've been diagnosed?
It's continued to progress much faster than I ever imagined. I want people to understand just how quickly ALS can attack your body. Just over a year ago, I was picking up my 7-year-old daughter so she make a wish with her birthday cake. Today, I couldn't do that.
And what do you hope people...
She made a wish with her birthday cake.
Over a year ago, I was picking up my 7-year-old daughter so she make a wish with her birthday cake. Today, I couldn't do that.
And what do you hope people, or you wish people understood about living with ALS?
That your mind stays sharp. People sometimes look at the physical disability and assume you're not still the same person inside. I still think the same. I still dream. I still love my family. My body just doesn't cooperate.
What are the doctors telling you about the treatment and progression?
Having doctors who are willing to collaborate and explore every reasonable option has meant a lot to my family and me. Right now, there isn't a cure, but we're seeing more research, more clinical trials, and more promising ideas than ever before.
All right. Now, I think some of you guys out there are skeptical. I see what you guys are saying. Some of you guys are commenting that you don't actually think that he's using a voice generator. Is that what you guys think? Do you guys think Chris Johnson is not really using a voice generator? You guys think that this is possibly some sort of pre-recorded voice? You think he's lying? Do you guys think a established, long-time Hall of Fame football player, he would go on TV and lie about this terrible illness that he's dealing with and lie about using a speech generator? Is that what you guys think? You guys, a lot of you guys are making insensitive comments. You think that he's lying. You think he's pulling a scam. You think it's not really Chris Johnson. All right, just to prove to you guys that this technology definitely does exist, I actually obtained the exact same technology that Chris Johnson used in that interview. And I'm going to prove to you guys right here, right now, that that technology that he's using to select words with his eyeballs, and it's infused with AI predictive technology to help choose the next word. If you guys don't believe that that's actually real, well, guess what? I'm going to prove it right now, and I'm going to use the exact same technology that Chris Johnson was using. Ready? Here we go. Okay, guys, I just activated the speech generating machine, so it should be working now. And this is the same speech generator that Chris Johnson was using in that interview with Michael Strahan. And I have got to tell you, this is going to save me so much time in the future, not actually having to speak or use any of my breath to say any of these words, because, believe it or not, it requires far less energy to just stare at this computer screen and select words that I want to say with my eyeballs. So therefore, I am able to not only save energy, but I am also able to communicate much more efficiently. I no longer have to worry about stumbling over my words or saying something that I did not mean to say. This speech generator is equipped with artificial intelligence, which actively helps predict which words I am going to select with my eyes. And believe it or not, it is relatively good at predicting what I was going to say next. So therefore, this system helps speed up the process of communication by actively helping me to select the words I want to say by utilizing artificial intelligence. So therefore, everything you hear about artificial intelligence being bad is actually a lie, because this artificial intelligence is freaking awesome. Sometimes I like to mess with the speech generator, and I like to make it say all sorts of crazy and funny things for my own personal amusement, such as supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, donkey wiener testicles. I mop floor with Donald Trump's taint jizz, ha ha ha, while Oprah watches and laughs beating off in the corner. Do you think that is funny? Cupcake, upside down, pineapple, insemination, retardation, excavation, elaboration in this great nation. What? I don't know. I'm just having some fun with the speech generating machine. Don't judge me. What I choose to do in my own free time with the speech generator machine is my own business. Fuck you. There, see? I told you that the technology's real. So, I don't think anybody needs to be making any more smart alecky remarks about this technology not being real. Clearly, I just proved that it does exist. I selected all of those words that you just heard with my eyeballs live right now. I have the exact same version of technology that Chris Johnson is using, the same model of speech generator. So, some of you guys out there, you guys don't do proper research, and you probably haven't went and found what model of speech generator that Chris Johnson is using and then tested it yourself. I have. So that makes me like the lead researcher on this topic right now. So any of you guys out there, you keep saying that Chris Johnson's faking it or that that's not the real Chris Johnson. Yeah. Well, I think I just proved that the technology is very, very, very real and very, very useful. In fact, from now on, I'm going to be using that technology to make all my videos and all my streams. In fact, this is the last time you're ever going to see me moving my mouth or using any of my own breath to say any of my own words ever again. We're going to be going to eyeball selecting only, starting tomorrow. Just kidding. Whew. All right. That was a long bit. But hopefully it paid off. I see some laughing emojis came in while I was doing it. So hopefully that paid off, right? My humor requires some setup and some patience, and it requires that you be able to pay attention for long amounts of time. And if you do all those things, right? If you put in the time to wait for the payoff for my jokes, you guys know I'm going to deliver. So thank you for sticking around and letting me perform all this shit for you. All right, guys, I got some super chats that came in. Let me try and knock some of these out. We had one from RY come in earlier. He wants me to do Richie from Boston and Roseanne do an organic Bible vape juice fundraising event to raise money for ALS research. They have Chris Johnson on stage at their event. Oh boy. So, as you all know, me and Rosie, we've been doing this podcast and we have been getting outstanding reviews ever since we started. And we have sold a truckload of organic Bible vape juice. We are curing the world of Chinese nano AIDS, one anus at a time.
Yeah, you know, and you wouldn't have been able to do it without the help of yours truly promoting your product. But, you know, it helped cure my nano AIDS, and I had like so many nano Chinese drones like stuck up in my ass. And ever since I started vaping these cartridges, you know, it's been like making me feel so much better. Becky, get down here and vape some of your Chinese nano drone vape juice.
So tonight we have a very special guest. We have Chris Johnson, who is suffering from ALS. Now, I want to make this very clear. I do not believe in ALS. What I think Chris Johnson is actually suffering from, and you already know where I'm going with this. Chris Johnson is actually suffering from Chinese nanodrones, which have implanted themselves deep within his anus and have given him Chinese nano AIDS. So that's why he alive. I'm going to have Chris Johnson vape some of my organic Bible vape juice, and we're going to see if this supposed ALS goes away right here live on the spot tonight. Chris, are you ready for a miracle? Are you ready for a God-given breakthrough in the form of organic Bible vape juice? I got to say, I could not sleep last night when I heard I was going to have the opportunity to cure my ALS. And to hear your explanation that it may not even be ALS and that it might be Chinese nano drones is actually one of the craziest things I done ever heard. It was not only a year ago I tried to pick up my daughter and I had weakness in my hands. And that's when I realized something was definitely wrong. So I was watching Good Morning America with some guy named Dave and Craig or something. And it was a really good episode of Good Morning America. And that's when I realized while I was trying to pick up my daughter how weak I had become. So I had to stop watching Good Morning America and I called my wife, Brittany, and I said, we need to go to the hospital. So that's why I'm happy to try this new form of treatment, which may or may not cure ALS. And that's why more research needs to be done and more funding needs to be obtained in order for a cure to be created. All right. That's too much. Go away, Chris. That's enough. All right. That's enough. That's enough of that. All right. All right. That one was for you, RY. All right. We got Let There Be Carnage gifting 5 Jake the Awake memberships. Got Christopher Britton as a new member. Awesome. Hell yeah. Thank you for the gifted Jake the Awake memberships. Anyone who gets a gifted Jake the Awake membership, be sure to thank Big Money Bob or Let There Be Carnage, because that's who you got the random gifted membership from. And we got a Lemming in a shiny metal box with a very generous super chat and a very super sticker. In fact, I have to go to my watch page to see what the super sticker even is, because it totally does not show me on my side. Oh, it just says very super sticker. Very super sticker. Donations in the chat. Very super sticker. Thank you for the super chat. There you go. I turned very superstitious into very super sticker. Just for you, bro. Seriously, the Lemming in a shiny metal box. Thank you for the very generous super chat. Longtime supporter of the show here. All right, RY says, please donate to the Jake Gibson Foundation for anti-bullshit and anti-bullshit research. This is a fine organization that researches and exposes bullshit and shills. That's right. All these donations are going to exactly that. This stream is technically the Jake Gibson Foundation for Anti-Bullshit and Anti-Bullshit Research. That's essentially what we do here. So I want to thank you, RY, for donating many times tonight to the Jake Gibson Foundation for Anti-Bullshit. And I've got lots more bullshit for me to break down tonight. So if you guys are having fun so far, do your boy a solid and hit the thumbs up. In fact, right now, everybody and their mama, hit the thumbs up. I haven't even begun to bust Owen Benjamin yet. We still have that. So a lot more to get to tonight. A whole lot of fun still to be had. here live, hit the thumbs up button. All right. Good times. Kelly Yamaguchi from the land of the rising sun, Japan, right? Got an international viewer here, Kelly Yamaguchi. She says, remember chat in the name of education. That's right. All of this is in the name of edumacation. Yeah. We're here to like edumacate you or something. Yeah. We're going to educate you. And then we're going to fire you. Yeah, you're fired. Yeah. In the name of edumacation, I bless you all. Amen. All right, I think I'm all caught up on super chats. So let's go ahead and finish up the Chris Johnson ALS interview, because there's a funny part at the end. And then we'll get to busting some Owen Benjamin balls. How's that? Maybe he doesn't even have any balls. Who knows?
Seeing how hard these doctors and researchers are working gives me hope. As long as they're fighting for people with ALS, I'm going to keep fighting too.
Oh yeah, and I want to thank Chris and Brittany for inviting me to the home with their family for that interview. And soon after Chris was diagnosed, they recorded his voice, which is why the speech generating machine sounds exactly like him. And
they recorded his voice. They have a voice sample of Chris Johnson, and that's why it sounds exactly like him. And also, you guys, my speech generator, which is the same model that Chris is using, I also recorded my voice and put a sample of my voice into the speech generator. So that's why my speech generator sounds exactly like me, and his speech generator sounds exactly like Chris. See? Thank you, Michael, for pointing that out to the audience.
Chris also told me awareness is great, but it's not enough. ALS needs funding. He was diagnosed relatively early.
You guys hear that? ALS needs funding.
But it's not enough. ALS needs funding.
That's the thing about ALS. It's just not good with money. ALS always begging for money. So I see ALS out there on the street corner begging for change. You know, ALS needs to get a fucking job. That's right. ALS, you need to get a job. Quit your begging. All right? There's a lot of people out there not doing very good right now. Why should I give my money to ALS instead of other people who might need it more badly? So, as far as I'm concerned, ALS can kiss my ass. Now, having said that, if you have a loved one who's suffering from ALS, this is just a comedy routine, and I'm just kidding around. It's all to make people laugh in the name of peace and harmony and positivity. So, that means I got a get out of jail free card to be as insensitive as I want. And I don't believe for a second that that's even the real Chris Johnson, or that he has ALS. So I really don't give a flying fuck what anybody thinks about what I'm saying here tonight. All right. Now, let's get to the main event.
He was diagnosed relatively early. He's doing everything he can, but still can't even hold a cup. That's why early detection, more research, and better treatment are so important. But he said if you're newly diagnosed, don't lose hope. Research is moving faster than ever.
Incredible spirit.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
All right. This is the grand finale. You got Gail here, which some people might think has features of a male. Some people might think that.
It was definitely, like I said, hard for me to process watching this guy who I've admired for a long time, the incredible record-holding NFL running back.
But he still has that grit, doesn't he?
And as you said, his mind is still sharp.
Yeah.
Mind is still sharp.
And still admire. You said you admired him still. I mean, his admiration right now is off the charts for what he's doing.
Yeah.
Look at this. You see this creature right here? Look at this creature is zeroing in on Michael Strahan's leg. Look, see this? Taking a real long gander at Michael Strahan's thigh area. And what does Gail decide to do on television for everyone to see?
That was a great interview.
That was great interview. And then he, excuse me, she reaches over, pats him on the leg here, stares into his eyes. Look at this. Look at them staring into each other's eyes. Ah, good morning, America. That was great interview. That was great interview. Wasn't that great interview, guys? I think it was great interview.
Still, I mean, his admiration right now is off the charts for what he's doing.
Yeah.
That was a great interview.
It really was.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Johnson.
There you go. Good morning, America. All right. That's why you got to watch the video till the very, very end, because you never know what you might find, right? Like if I hadn't have watched that horse shit all the way to the very end, I wouldn't have been able to key in on that part and make fun of him, her, them, right? So in my last video, if you guys watched the whole thing to the very end, then you saw that I included that little tidbit, that little embarrassing moment with Gail and Michael. That's in my latest video, but you have to watch the whole video in order to find the comedy gold. See, my style of comedy, it requires patience, right? You got to put in the time and effort and watch the video till the very end. Otherwise, you might miss one of the funniest parts of the whole damn video. All right. Oh my God, you guys with your World Cup shit. I don't know how many times I got to say this. I have never in my life ever watched a World Cup soccer match. I haven't watched a single bit, not a single minute, not a single kick of this soccer shit. Now, I have said many times, I grew up watching the NFL back when I was a sports fan and believed that it was real. The NFL was my favorite, and then everything else was a distant second and third, right? And soccer was never a sport that I watched. So all you guys who keep bringing up the World Cup, like, what do you want me to do? I don't watch soccer. I don't like soccer. It's like you guys want me to go watch highlights that I don't want to watch and be like, look at this guy on Portugal. He kicked the ball to the Brazil guy on purpose because soccer's scripted. Look at this guy on England. He kicked the ball at the goal and the goalie purposely moved out of the way and let him score because soccer is scripted. Is that what you guys need? Do you really need that from me? Never seen so many damn people requesting that I do a World Cup breakdown. It's like I've never in my fucking life ever done that, but you guys keep requesting it. And I don't know shit about soccer, and I don't like soccer. So you're going to force me to make a fucking video where I'm like, this guy kicked the ball into the net and it was scripted. Ta-da! Do you like it? And then you're not going to like it, and the video is going to fucking tank, and it's going to make me feel shitty, and I'm going to be like, why did I upload a video about fucking soccer? Oh, yeah, these guys. All right, I'm kind of kidding around. I know the World Cup's like the only thing going on right now, so that's why you guys are asking me to cover it, because it's like the only fucking thing in the whole world that's happening right now. So because there's no exciting fake sports happening, some of you guys are so freaking bored you're actually watching this horse shit World Cup soccer. And you want me to watch that shit too? Ugh. So I just haven't been able to bring myself to do it. So there. Now that I've got that out of the way. And I'm just messing with you, bro, the guy who's commenting. I've made that joke about not watching soccer probably 10 times, and people still keep asking me to cover the FIFA. All right. Lint Away Duct Cleaning says, can we see Elon compare ALS machine to Neuralink? So one of the ways we're going to revolutionize the way humanity communicates with one another, we're going to use a speech generating machine infused with AI technology, but we're going to be also incorporating Neuralink to where you won't have to use your eyes to select words on the screen. You simply just use your mind, and every thought will instantly appear on screen, and with a simple approval in your own mind, you can get the words to come out of the speaker, and it's going to cause a change in the way all living humans speak to one another. There you go. It's about the best I can do. My Elon is not the best, I will admit. My Elon is just kind of, sort of, eh. So you're going to have to take what you get there. All right. RY says, have you heard the latest MS mainstream on all these Europeans are now praising America after visiting for FIFA? Yes, I have. I would like to believe this is true, but mainstream news. Well, the thing is, they just showed up to some touristy areas that were set up for international tourism, and then they watched their soccer game, and then they got on the plane and fucking left, right? So here's the thing about America. There's some nice places if you have the money. It's all about if you have the money, right? Like here in California, I can go visit some places that are beautiful, but I gotta pay. And it's costly to hang out in them places. And everything's costly in the places that are beautiful. And here in California, I can take you to places that are a fucking nightmare. And oh my God, I might lose my life if I hang around there. Yeah, there's places in California where your life will be in danger if you show up. And there's places here in California where you can camp out next to the beach and nobody's going to be around, and you could run around naked on the beach and just have the time of your life by yourself, enjoying the wonders of nature in beautiful Northern California, where there's hardly anybody around to stop you from having such a wonderful time. So there's places you can go and things you can do in California that are amazing. And there's places that are absolute hellholes where you could lose your life. So if you are visiting Disneyland and staying in a nice hotel, and then you fly home afterwards, you might be like, wow, California is so nice. Everything was so clean, right? Whereas if you visit California and you visit Skid Row instead of Disneyland, you'll be like, oh my God, that's the worst place I've ever seen. So it's all about which location you go and whether you got money to enjoy it, right? So if I want to go have a little beach vacation for just the weekend, I got to have the money to fill up my tank to get over there, the money to buy food and drink while I'm there. So even just me heading over to the beach and enjoying my own home state is costly, right? So let me make my point here. So those Europeans who came over and had the money and went to a place that was set up for international travelers, and they watched the sport that they already enjoy, and they're hanging out in areas where the weather's nice and it's set up for them to enjoy. So yeah, of course it's going to be nice and they're going to praise it. So get those same international travelers to go to the hood and force them to hang out in the hood with the homeless drug addicts and crazy lunatics running around, they would probably say, man, America's worse than I thought it was. So it's all where you hang out, how much money you have, what you do, all that stuff. All right. It's kind of a long answer, but, you know, there's people who see somebody online praising a town or an area, a country, and they just automatically believe what that person says. But every state, every city has its good side and its dark side, you know. Even some of the shittiest cities have a nice side of the city. And even some of the nicest cities have a shit side, you know. All right. Love World Peace Nearing says, Jake, just start watching fucking soccer. Dude, like, I thought about, like, okay, if people want a soccer breakdown video that bad, like, I guess I could check it out. And so, like, I went to pull up the highlights, and the guys were just kicking the ball around, and then suddenly it goes in the net, and I'm like, how am I going to, like, describe this in an exciting way? I don't know any of the players. I don't know all the nuances of the rules. Like, I know that the whole point of the game is to kick the ball into the net, right? But I don't know, like, all the technical rules of international play and all this stuff. And so, and I don't know any of the players. So literally, I would be like, this Brazil player is purposely letting his pass get intercepted by this Paraguay guy, and then they purposely let the Paraguay guy score a goal because it's fucking scripted. Yeah, right. So my analysis of soccer would probably suck and not be that enjoyable because I don't know shit and I don't watch it. So if forced to do it, I would be doing it specifically for money. And I don't even think it would make that much money. I think if I finally did make a soccer video, like a lot of you guys just wouldn't watch it, and then it wouldn't get recommended. So it wouldn't even be worth it. All right. Soccer people. All right. Bull in the Note says, I throw bread to homeless on skid like they're birds. Hey, you know, and I'm sure that they're glad that you do that. I'm sure that they prefer some bird bread over no bird bread at all, right? So, hey, God bless you for throwing them people any sort of food or nutrition, right? All right, I think I'm just about caught up on super chats, and then we can move on to the Owen Benjamin portion of the show. Shine on you, crazy. Danielle says, hey, Jake, what a WNBA video episode. You gotta be out of your mind. WNBA video. Here's the thing is my audience is just going to be like, those are dudes. That's a man. Those are all men, right? It'll just be like a shitload of comments of people like, those are dudes, nasty dudes, right? So I don't think it would get that much engagement, that many views, because I don't think for a second that YouTube is going to pump a video of me talking about the WNBA being scripted. And there's not that many men who watch the WNBA enough to care to hear me tell them that it's scripted. So I think there would be a lack of interest, first off. And then in the comment section, since, you know, you guys are my audience, I already know you're going to be talking about how they're all dudes in the comment section. And so I don't think that a video like that would be allowed to take off and go viral and get lots of views. So I have a feeling that if I took the time and effort to make a WNBA video, it would probably do worse than a fucking soccer breakdown video. I'm just being honest, right? The NFL vids, you know, those will get 20,000, 30,000 views. And then the NBA vids that I tried doing, they got like around close to 10,000 views. So you got to figure WNBA. I'd be lucky to get a couple thousand views on that. Oh. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the Owen Benjamin breakdown portion of the show. So I've exposed this character Owen Benjamin before in the past, but he's being promoted again. So he's getting a promotional run right now on all of these shill shows, most notably Tucker Carlson. So let's go ahead and start there. For those of you guys who are familiar with Owen Benjamin, you might not have heard, but he's making his rounds again right now, and did a interview with Tucker Carlson. They got over 1 million views, so that's quite a hefty promotion for a unfunny fucking shitbag who hasn't done anything of quality in many, many years, if ever at all. But I remember Alex Stein getting promoted this exact same way. I remember Alex Stein out of nowhere just got hooked up with a promotion on Tucker Carlson's show.
I don't know how many people who've been canceled. I had a whole franchise interviewing people who've been canceled. Kind of over it, except in your case, you have the most amazing cancellation story, both because you were, I think, really the first big name, the first blue check on Twitter to get kicked off Twitter, but also because of what happened after. So I know this is probably tedious for you, but it's, I think, really interesting for others. If you could just go through what happened, where you were in your life, how that life ended, and what happened next.
So they start the show by talking about how he's censored. So this thing with Owen Benjamin is he'll cry about how he's censored while getting promoted by Tucker Carlson to his 5 million subs. It doesn't really work if you're like, I'm so censored. Hey, bears, I'm a 6'8" bear, and I tell the truth about Israel, and I get censored. I'm censored so much that Tucker Carlson is allowing me to come on his program and talk to his 5 million subs about how censored I am. It sucks to be censored and invited on Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, and thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh.
This has been a blast.
Thank you. Me too.
So I was doing comedy in Los Angeles. Like, I started as a piano player. My dad sang opera. He taught rhetoric, like just basically how to speak in a way that's interesting to people.
You were a piano player?
Yeah, I started when
he was a pianist from L.A. Hollyweird. This guy always likes to brag how he, I used to be a comedian in Hollywood. I used to play piano in L.A. I was a musician in L.A., Hollywood. So he always brags about his Southern California roots. Hey, I don't know if he's been paying attention, but people don't like Hollywood celebrities anymore. Yeah. People have given up on Hollywood. So him like bragging about where he comes from, like, and being in the Hollywood scene, it's like you can tell he misses it. Like he wants to go back and do it again. So it's almost like he's being promoted for a second go round again here by Tucker Carlson. And they have to remind everybody that he comes from Hollyweird.
I was like 2 or 3 years old, and I still teach piano, like classical piano.
Wow. Not jazz piano.
Not jazz piano. No, that's unspeakable. I have a jazz friend who's really into jazz, and I'm like, why do you enjoy breaking the rules that make things beautiful? It's a funny relationship, and so like, I think with that musical background, my mom taught children's literature. It like kind of created a comedian in a way that's a craft. Like I wasn't, seeking fame or like a lot of comedians can just be like kind of spilling everything on stage. Like,
oh yeah, he's not seeking fame, but he goes on Tucker Carlson's show and Jake Shields' podcast. Oh, and he's done InfoWars a shitload of times. So this dude has literally hung out with Alex Jones on camera over and over and over and over again. So there's plenty of examples. I can show one after this of him doing InfoWars and talking with Alex Jones, right? So the thing about Owen is that when he goes on these programs, he's literally proving that he's in the big club and he's a shill. He's a low-level shill, but he's in the big club hanging out with bigger names than himself who are helping promote him. So like Paula K would say here, Paula says, Owen on Tucker, proof he's a shill, not including everything he's said and done. Exactly. So even if we take away the land scam, just the fact that he's hanging out on Tucker Carlson is pretty shilly, right? That in and of itself discredits you as being a legit truther. Because let's face it, Tucker Carlson doesn't talk about the news being scripted ahead of time. Tucker Carlson does not break down psychological operations. Tucker Carlson is a mouthpiece for normies. He spouts off the mainstream narrative. He basically just repeats the mainstream news talking points. So Owen Benjamin is hanging out with a guy who spouts off mainstream narratives and mainstream news. And he's letting a mainstream news mouthpiece promote him. So I would argue that that's 100% shill-like behavior, and you can't be a trustworthy, real truth teller if you're hanging out with somebody whose job it is to spew disinformation and push the mainstream narrative. So Owen Benjamin is not going on this program and saying, hey, all the news is scripted ahead of time. All these psychological operations are scripted using actors, and the mainstream media is in collusion with the government, and they're lying on the nightly news to dupe the public. He won't go into any of that. Instead, he just participates with whatever shit Tucker Carlson is talking about. And then Tucker does his best to introduce Owen to his audience as this censored comedian. And if you tell sheeple that someone is censored, it tricks them into thinking that this is like some information that they don't want you to hear. Or this guy must be so funny, or must be telling so much truth that the man is trying to censor him. Because that's what Tucker Carlson said, that he's censored. So whenever someone cries about being censored while they're on a platform getting 1 million views and getting their ass kissed and promoted by someone like Tucker Carlson, not exactly censorship. I would argue somebody getting shadow banned and buried and no one ever talking about them or referencing them, that right there is censorship. So the fact that none of these people on the world stage are going to ever address me, never refute me, they're going to pretend like I don't exist. Yeah, that's censorship, in my opinion. Way worse than the censorship that Owen's supposedly facing.
Approve of me, and I was all about just doing that craft properly. And so I incorporated music with it. I go to Los Angeles. I get on the show Punk'd. I do Comedy Central specials. Adam Sandler puts me in some movies. I become like one of the leads of a sitcom.
Name dropping. Adam Sandler. I got a Hollywood Comedy Central. Adam Sandler. See, the thing about this guy is that he has this legion of taint lickers and supporters that give him a pass for the land scam. They give him a pass for tying back to Hollywood. They give him a pass for not being funny or creative. They give him a pass for everything, and they love this guy. So there's this like cult of Owen supporters who worship this dude. And it's obviously not because he's funny, because he doesn't ever do anything that's funny. And he doesn't ever like do like a show or anything that's popular and beloved by anybody that I've ever heard. So there's nothing that he's ever done where people are like, oh, that's so funny, so awesome, that's like the best show ever. So whenever he is given these opportunities, he doesn't really seem to make much of it, it seems. So there's these legion of fans that he has that like they love him, and I think that like they're attracted to him in like in a homo sort of way. So I think that Owen Benjamin's bears, the people who still support him after all this time and actually think it's funny and make excuses for the land scam and all that, I think they're sexually attracted to him. That's the only thing that makes sense. So I'm sure there'll be a few people here tonight who are going to stick up for Owen. There always is. There's always a few Owen Benjamin dick lickers who want to stick up for him. And I think it's because they're sexually attracted to him and they're gay for the guy. I don't know. I can't think of any other reason why anyone would like this guy.
Vince Vaughn, who I love, produced it, and we went on the road together. Like, I'm having a great time out there
as a stand-up.
Yeah, and an actor, like, but more based around my personality. Like, I'm not one of those, I can be a French Prince guy, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I can't be like, who am I today, you know? And so was the trans kid thing. Like, that's when I snapped out of that whole thing. Because I was always more, like, libertarian looking at gay stuff, and, you know.
He was libertarian looking at gay stuff.
Even like abortion, I never really thought about it. I was just like, oh yeah, if somebody's like raped, like, who are you to, you know, I just didn't
force
think
him to
about
have
it.
a baby.
Because I'd never gotten anyone pregnant. I never thought about it. And I just couldn't believe that somebody would lie about that, right? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And
God, I'm sorry, you guys, but like, oh my God, every time I've ever tried to give Owen a chance, it's just mind-numbing bullshit. You know, like, I used to watch gay shit. And me and my bears put dildos in each other's ass. You know, I'm a 6'8" bear, and that's why. Like, I've given this dude a chance so many times, and I swear he never says anything of substance. He's never made me laugh. I do not understand how anyone ever liked this guy to begin with. But there was a time when this guy got so many donations from his fan base that he was able to buy this plot of land and build this house. That he still has that land and resides in that house today. And I was able to find a channel that has cataloged all the old Owen Benjamin clips where he promoted this land scam, as I like to call it. So I want to go ahead and take a trip back to 2019, 2020. At the height of COVID, Owen Benjamin scammed his audience for hundreds of thousands of dollars in donations, and he promised that they would get a 2-week camping experience on his land every year. And so anyone who donates $400 or more to Owen's Beartaria campgrounds, you would get to show up any time of the year, and you would get 2 weeks. And it was this huge plot of land, and there would be maintained camp spots and cabins, and all the bears who donate get to use this paradise for a retreat. And these were his words. It's a Beartaria retreat. And so Owen sold this idea to his subscribers, and he racked up hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. In fact, the amount of money is unknown exactly how much he got, but it's definitely in the 6-figure range. And that was how he was able to buy this plot of land, build his house. And then once he had this house built and this plot of land under his name, he said, it's private property and you're not allowed to show up unless I give you special permission. So he changed the rules once he had the money and the land. All right, let me get through a few super chats, and then I will show you guys the classic videos of Owen Benjamin running this scam. And any of his taint lickers here tonight, well, they can do their best damage control and come up with all the excuses they can and do all the mental gymnastics they need to do in order to try and explain it away. But it's not going to work. All right. Mike Tobin Music says, don't listen to them. Soccer is yag. Soccer is definitely yag, bro. Totally yag. All right. Rex James says, could we get Fittest Flat Earther explaining that Lionel Richie is also Billy Ocean and they can merge together to become Stevie Wonder, who never sees it coming? Also, hit the thumbs up, folks. So you got to wake up pretty early in the morning if you want to try and fool me. And these shapeshifters, I got to give them credit. They're trying some new tactics, and that's because they're the fallen bloodline of the Nephilim. And when the Nephilim and the fallen angels made it, they created this new sneaky type of shapeshifter, which is able to shapeshift into multiple entities besides just one or two. So we could be talking about one shapeshifting entity playing as many as 10, even 20 different roles. So one of the sneakiest shapeshifters I've come across is none other than Lionel Richie, and he's got a secret as in sea, ocean, Billy Ocean. If you take a look at Lionel Richie and then you take a look at Billy Ocean, they share a common freckle right here and right here. What are the chances Billy Ocean and Lionel Richie just so happen to have the same freckle? And guess who else shares the same freckle with these sneaky shapeshifters? You're not going to believe this. In fact, your mind is about to be blown when I tell you that Stevie Wonder is also a freaking shape-shifting vampire. Stevie Wonder has been playing the role of Lionel Richie, and as I already shown, Lionel Richie is Billy Ocean. So you guys know what that means. Stevie Wonder is Lionel Ocean. Shape-shifting fallen angel vampire Nephilim. All right. You make me wish I had pictures of all these people lined up and ready to go. All right. RY says they figured out there was more money in selling conservatism than left-wing commie blue hair garbage because most people are at least center-right. Oh, yeah. So they have both audiences taken care of with their shills here. So they have the left-wingers, you know, like guys like Secular Talk, who will like be like the guy who's supposedly calling out Trump. So they have like the that Secular Talk guy playing the role of like hardcore leftist who's busting the conservatards' balls. So they'll have Secular Talk dude be like, Trump, he's such a fucking idiot. And can you believe what he's fucking doing? And his fucking MAGA's best. So he'll say fuck and act like he's all edgy and shit. So they have like the edgy lefties to call out the conservatards. And then, of course, they have the conservatard channels to call out the woke left. The woke left is trying to kill Trump. Trump's having to dodge bullets every time he makes a public appearance. That's because the woke left is trying to assassinate him. That's because he's making all these good decisions, fixing the economy right now. And the evil Democrats are trying to ruin the economy. That's why they're trying to kill Trump every time he goes on stage, right? So they got right-wing tard channels to preach to the right-wing tards. And then they got the left-wing tard channels to preach to the left-wing tards. And then they got the regular boring tards in between to preach to the sheeple who are on the fence between left and right. They got all them people covered, right? What they don't want you to do is come over here and listen to a guy like me tell you that all the shit is scripted and that these are actors on the world stage. In fact, very few people bring up the concept world stage. I'm like one of the only one who even brings up the concept of actors on a world stage playing roles. So they got guys like Fittest Flat Earther to discredit what I'm talking about with actors playing roles on the world stage. Instead, Fittest Flat Earther claims they're fallen angels who are shapeshifters. So they actively have people pandering to the right, pandering to the left, and they got shills and agents like Fittest Flat Earther taking a diarrhea all over the truth of this subject, how it's scripted with actors on a world stage. So they got all the bases covered. And sadly, all them people get views, way more than me. So Fittest Flat Earther can tell you that Patrick Mahomes is Darlene from Roseanne, and he'll get 5 times more views than me. So in 2026, you can say that Patrick Mahomes is Sarah Gilbert from the Roseanne TV show and get more views than a guy like me who spends several hours making a well-edited video telling you the truth about Chris Johnson not actually having ALS, right? So, yeah, man. Putting time and effort into videos these days just doesn't seem to pay off as much as the channels that can upload dog shit. Anyway, True Metal Jake says, Jake, where can we contribute so you can build Jake Taria in Santa Cruz and we can all come hang out with you at the beach? Shit, that would cost a lot. A plot of land in Santa Cruz would be very, very costly. And then building permits and building codes in California. Oh my God, dude. We would never be able to raise enough. And I don't have it in me to pull a scam like that. So I'll sit here and stream for you guys and do impressions and try and make you laugh and open up your mind and tell you the truth, expose shills. I'll do this stream. I'll make a couple $100 doing what I'm doing here. But you guys know I'm not scamming anyone, right? I'm doing this for your entertainment and to get the truth out there. And this is what I do for a living. So I'm honest about what I do here. And you guys know that about me. Whereas Owen, I'm going to show that he promised his audience paradise. Bertaria, the stuff that he promised was going to happen on that land. Like, we're going to have basketball courts. We're going to have fully furnished cabins. We're going to have a Bible study camp for kids. We're going to have archery lessons. We're going to have hunting classes. We're going to have Chinese origami lessons, right? So he was like promising the moon to anyone and everyone that this Bertaria was going to be paradise and that you get to come hang out in paradise with him for 2 weeks. And it only costs a $400 or more donation. $400 or more donation. You get to come hang out with Owen Benjamin in Bertaria paradise, where your most wildest dreams will come true. And he fed this scam to people during the height of COVID, when people were the most vulnerable. So I would argue I've never done anything like that. And you will never see me do anything like that. So when I call out somebody like Owen Benjamin, you're looking at a real funny guy who's doing the work of a superhero and busting a unfunny hack posing as a comedian who's a fucking scammer. So what you're looking at, guys, is the real deal superhero work right here live right now. How many people are out there busting scammers right now live? How many people are putting in a concerted effort to expose the liars right here live right now? I know one guy who's doing just that right here, right now. And I shall not be stopped, shall not be thwarted by any Owen Benjamin dick lickers. Oh no. I'm going to say what I want to say. I'm going to show what I want to show. Anyone who doesn't like it can kick rocks. All right. Having said that, you guys ready to get into the next video? That would be awesome, though, if I could buy some land in Santa Cruz and actually build a real paradise and you guys could actually come hang out. If that was to actually be a real thing that was possible, it would be incredible. But that land would be way too expensive. There'd be way too many hoops to jump through. And I have never owned land or built anything, so I wouldn't even know where to begin. But It would be cool if it was possible. Santa Cruz, the weather's perfect right now. The weather in Santa Cruz, 75 degrees all summer long, 55 at night. All right. Rex James says, also, Jake, your thumbnail to tonight's video has these two chuds' faces taking up the whole front. I got lucky. I see you in the back there. Yeah, I had to throw together the thumbnail real quick. Making thumbnails is it takes up a lot of time to make a good one. And if I stare at my phone and make a thumbnail on my phone for too long, it makes my eyes blurry. So I try and get it done as quickly as possible because it's one of my least favorite things. I like going on camera and saying what I want to say. I like having a finished product to show you guys. I like doing these live streams. One of my least favorite things is sitting around trying to come up with a fucking thumbnail for the 1,000th time. That's one of my least favorite things is thumbnail making, but it's one of the most important things that you have to do. And so I don't use AI to snap my thumbnails. Like I try and make my own. And so, yeah, it eats up a lot of time. And then once you got one good thumbnail finish, well, now you got to make the next one, the next time, the next one, the next one, next one. So it's like this never-ending thumbnail conveyor belt that I have to become in order to keep this going. And if I slack on the thumbnail, people will be like, I don't feel like watching Jake tonight because his thumbnail sucks. Lint away says, Jake, what was your best, worst 9-to-5 work experience? I worked at a call center and the calls would be dialed by a computer system and you'd have like the speaker set with a microphone and it would just keep dialing the numbers and you had to just read the script on the computer screen and time would go by so slow. Like an 8-hour shift at a call center. Oh my God, it was so bad. So I actually prefer like doing something with my hands and not having to like deal with the public. So I've done jobs where I'm like a janitor or like, cleaning up a parking lot with a leaf blower. I prefer tedious, busy work over having to read a script on the phone at a call center. So the call center, it was just soul sucking, just whereas it like at least like when I was a janitor, I could like listen to music and just vacuum, clean up a fucking office building. So I've done a lot of shit jobs in my life when I was in my 20s, early 30s. So the call center though, just the days were just so slow. Like I've never had a job where time was just like, oh my God, I still have 6 hours of this to do. Yeah. So yeah, call center. Hated it. I stopped showing up and got fired. James says, yo, what up, Jake? Javid here. Or Javid. What's up, Javid? Javid? I thought it was Javid. Now you're telling me it's Javid. Javid here. Connor Murphy just died. Is it real? Connor Murphy. I'm drawing a blank. Who the hell is Connor Murphy? I know Conor McGregor. American ice hockey defenseman. Looks maxing influencer Connor Murphy dies. 32. Well, close enough to 33 that possibly it's a scripted death. So I don't know who this guy is, Connor Murphy. His name sounds familiar, but honestly, I've never watched him. I don't watch hockey. I don't know shit about hockey. So the only looks maxer I know is Clavicular, which this guy kind of looks like Clavicular in this picture. But anyway, looks maxing influencer Connor Murphy dies at 32 after apparent drowning. That sounds like it could be scripted. So I can't say for sure, but the fact that it's close enough to 33, looks maxing, influencer, hockey player, I would lean towards it being fake. Just my gut instinct. Thank you, Javid, however you pronounce it. Long time no see, buddy, and glad you could make it here tonight. All right. Lint Away Duct Cleaning says, come clean dryer vents with us. It'll be a blast. You know, I might end up having to do that one of these days. You know, if this YouTube thing goes to shit, you know, I might be cleaning lint with you sooner than later, buddy. It's hard right now. I looked at a shitload of different channels that are different than mine, completely different. And I see even big channels with huge sub counts are struggling right now, getting like half as many views as they were just 6 months, a year ago. So I looked at some channels with over 1 million subs who doesn't talk about anything like I talk about. And a lot of them channels are down like 50% or more on their views. So there's something up with YouTube right now where they're making it extra hard on everyone, even the bigger channels. And so the only channels I see right now that like are just cranking out millions without having to do any work at all, like are guys like Ass Mongold and Penguin Zero. They can roll out of bed and fart on camera and get 1 million views in 24 hours. So yeah, channels like mine, you know, I gotta keep trying to come up with new ideas and spend a bunch of time and effort to make a video, which may or may not get promoted by the algorithm and shown to you guys, whether you're subscribed or not. Meanwhile, you know, Penguin Zero can just show up for 8 minutes and be like, I'm feeling really sad today because P. Diddy's going to be getting out of prison soon and he's going to attack people's buttholes with a dildo. And now I'm really sad. And he'll get like 1 million views. RY says, after you're through talking about Owen, can we get Busta Rhymes interpreting for Chris Johnson? Might be a stretch, but if you can, that'd be cool. Busta Rhymes interpreting for Chris Johnson. Well, let me see. This is serious, and we could make you delirious. So dangerous, but so dangerous. This whole entire stream is dangerous. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. RY really wants to be dangerous. So dangerous. It's dangerous. This whole entire stream is dangerous. We can't make you serious, delirious. Whole entire that was terrible. Why the hell did I do that? That's as much Busta Rhymes as I can remember off the top of my head. Like, God, I can only think of one Busta Rhymes song, and I only know like 20 of the lyrics. Out of all the lyrics to that song, that's about all I know. Shit, anybody else know any Busta Rhymes songs I can sing? I totally forgot what Busta Rhymes sings. All right. I guess that's got to be good enough, RY. The fact that I put this picture together beforehand just for you, RY, you know, you got to give me a pass on my shitty Busta Rhyme impression. I didn't practice a Busta Rhyme impression, but I did make this, so give me some credit, why don't you? All right. What were we doing? What were we talking about? What the hell's going on? Oh, yeah. Owen Benjamin. Almost forgot. Lint Away Duck Cleaning said, it's a grind. My channel has been stuck forever. They don't want to make it easy on anyone. So, you know, they might give you views for a little while, but then they'll go in there and change the difficulty and make it twice as hard as it was before. So everybody's always under the pressure to outperform everything they've already did in the past. And then if you keep up with that for a while, then they'll make it even extra difficult on you, right? And stop showing your subscribers your work. And then you have to work even extra hard to try and get their attention. And it's all by design. They don't want anyone on here making easy money except for their untalented hacks who are part of the big club, like Ass Mongoloid and Penguin Zero. Pieces of shit. All right. All right. So let me pull up a video that I almost forgot to show, showing you an example of Owen Benjamin hanging out with Alex Jones. Because as you guys know, Alex Jones is a controlled opposition character on the world stage. And so anyone who hangs out with Alex Jones, you can't be a legitimate good guy and hang out with Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones. So we saw Owen Benjamin hanging with Tucker, and then here he is on InfoWars.
Smart meters aren't that smart. In fact, they are ripping you off. You're paying for electricity.
And this special is perfect timing because you get, look, is it like the whole thing is I'm breaking victim consciousness, where it's just like whatever people are holding on to, that grudge, that anger, that hate, I make fun of it. And it was like, and it's also a testament that you can't be canceled. You know, this is in a tent in Missouri that we crowdfunded to shoot this with like all my friends, and like my buddy did the set design and my other friend did the electricity.
Well, that's what I was going to say next.
And it just
don't they get that we are the avant-garde? Those that have been canceled were canceled because we were popular. I mean, look at how all these other talk show hosts that
see, talking about being canceled. So that's like one of his favorite subjects when he does one of these guest appearances, is to talk about how he's canceled. So here you got controlled opposition character Alex Jones and controlled opposition character Owen Benjamin hanging out together on InfoWars, talking about how they've been canceled. And of course, their dick-licking fanboys buy into this. Oh, Owen Benjamin and Alex Jones are just two of the most censored individuals because they speak so much truth.
weren't anti-globalist a few years ago now sound just like we do, which is great. And it's everybody from RFK Jr. to, to Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson's gotten way more hardcore. And Vivek Ramaswamy, he just interviewed me last week. It airs next week. And the guy sounds just, but again, so when you don't give up when they cancel you and you persevere, and then it's grassroots, it's a beautiful Americana thing. It's really the Renaissance. It's the Great Awakening.
So yeah, guys, Owen Benjamin has had some of the biggest shills in the world promote him and kiss his ass. And his fans are cool with that. His fans don't go like, oh shit, Owen's getting promoted by Alex Jones. Oh shit. I guess that means he's not a real legitimate truther. He's not like a regular guy. He's not like you or me. No. See, they don't figure that out. Instead, they're like, wow, my boyfriend Owen is on television with Alex. That's so awesome. I'm glad he's getting the truth out there about how he's censored. Owen exposes Israel, so I'm glad he's on Alex Jones' show telling people the truth about how he's so censored. Yay, Owen! Right, so I don't understand how Owen even still has a fan base, or why they even think that this guy has any credibility. I mean, if I can pull up a video clip and he's sitting next to Alex Jones, that's it. You're a shill. End of story. You don't have any credibility. You're not a regular guy. You're absolutely in the big club if you're there hanging out with Alex Jones like this on InfoWars, doing a one-on-one with Alex. That means you're a total shill. And then when you add in Tucker Carlson, and also he was on the Baby Truther show with fake flat earther Jeranism, and David Weiss, who hawks his flat earth tracking app. So yeah, Owen Benjamin ties back to a bunch of shills, not just those two. There's many, many shills that he ties back to. And every time he promotes himself, it's the same shit. I used to do comedy in Hollywood. And I got censored because I'm such a funny 6'8" bear. It's just a bunch of blowhard shit. Sucking his own cock, basically. All right. So I found this video exposing the land scam of Owen Benjamin. And it was one of the most detailed and insightful videos that explains the land scam and uses clips of Owen at the same time. All right. So let's go back in time. Gonna go back in time. Gonna go back to 2019 and 2020.
But the perfect one.
Right here.
COVID and the lawsuit collapsing, Owen launched a new fundraiser.
Everybody listen up. Owen's going to expose himself here. These aren't my words. These are Owen's words.
Yeah, that stress gets to people, but I still hold myself to a higher standard than that.
At the height of COVID and the lawsuit collapsing, Owen launched a new fundraiser, a land scam disguised as a campground utopia.
Guys, I wasn't going to start looking into bear trail stuff, but the perfect one is for sale. And the Patreon lawsuit is so absurd, I don't want it to hold me up anymore.
700 supporters would each get 2 weeks of free camping per year on his Ursa Rio property in northern Idaho.
There is a compound, 50,000 square feet, 20, 30 separate buildings, full functional wilderness camp, North Idaho, $1.5 million.
So this was when he first talked about the land, and he spoke about it in a way like, you guys, there's this land that I found, and it would be perfect for bear taria. So this was when he first started pitching it. So there's people who will stick up for Owen, and they'll be like, there's no land scam. He never scammed anyone. But those people are as stupid as Zach Hubbard's followers, right? So here it is, Owen's words, Owen promoting the land, and that he needs $1.5 million in order to secure this land, which is going to be a perfect paradise for him and his fans to retreat to.
210 or 211 acres. So I was thinking, just throwing this out there, let me know what you guys think. Do you think we could raise the money for that? If 5,000 people chipped in $400 and in return they got 2 weeks there, any 2-week vacation they want, would that be possible?
He called it a community, a sanctuary, a retreat.
$400 is 1 day pay for me. I mean, yes, guys, that's what I'm talking about. Think about what you can get back for that. We can set up a place where we teach our kids how to be men.
We can set up a place where we teach our kids how to be men. His words, not mine. So Owen is pitching a property that's going to cost $1.5 million. And you guys, if we can get this property, we can teach our kids how to be men. Yeah, I want my kids to be men, and I want them to be taught to be men by Owen. Here's my money. Here's my money. Huh. Oh, that's not scummy at all. No, that sounds perfectly reasonable. Tell me more.
Call it Airbnb. Oh, Airbnb. Yes. Love Airbnb.
Airbnb. Yeah. Woo! Airbnb. Airbnb. That's so clever. We're going to teach our kids to be men at the Airbnb. You guys, this is meant to be. Oh my God. Airbnb meant to be. Airbnb meant to be. Dudes, I think you guys know what needs to happen now. You send me all your money and I'm going to get this land. Oh, Airbnb, here we come, right? Oh, am I over exaggerating, or is that what he's fucking doing? I find that to be disgustingly scammy, personally. And this was at the height of COVID, when everybody was vulnerable to shit like this.
Guys, we can do stand-up classes. Fuck yeah. Guys, we're reworking education. If we can get $1.5 million within 2 weeks, we can have Beartaria. 211 acres in an area secured by bears politically in the most beautiful part of the country, 5 hours from Amy's parents, so we wouldn't even be leaving Amy's parents, with an area that we could have retreats, campfires, endless possibilities. But if we don't hit the goal, I want to figure out how I want to figure out how I would get you the money back. I'll give $1,000. Beartaria could seriously fucking happen. There's a 50-50 chance we don't hit the mark, and I don't want to keep any of your money if we don't hit the mark. Retreat to the Mountains, incredible offering, consists of 211 acres with approximately 45 buildings, including nearly 50,000 square feet, former home of Four Seasons full-time residential school, and summer wilderness camp. Allows for endless opportunities. Brought to you to my right. Now you guys see, do you think we can get that? Holy God. Yeah, guys, this is once in a lifetime shit. I'll throw in 10K.
This is once in a lifetime shit. And then someone says they'll throw in 10K.
Oh God, we could seriously get Beartaria. Love, someone said they'd throw in 10K. You get a
oh my God, you guys. We could totally get Beartaria, you guys. And we could teach our kids to be men, you guys. Oh my God, we're gonna do Beartaria. This guy says we can send 10K. We're gonna teach our kids to be men, you guys. This is gonna be awesome. And we can have a Casa Bonita. And you guys, and we can have unicorn whiting lesson. All my bears are gonna be there.
Yeah, you know, some people would argue like, no, he didn't scam anyone. He didn't make any unreasonable promises that he didn't hold up on his end at all. No. All the people that donated to that, they totally got what they deserved. True Metal Jake says, Owen is a grifter, scam artist, and a fake flat earther. Notice how the flat earth topic never came up in the Tucker interview. He makes me sick. Yeah, see, so he won't bring up the news being scripted ahead of time. He won't bring up any major psychological operation and talk about actors being used. He won't talk about AI Trump or AI Joe Biden being used to dupe the public. No. So he's going on there talking to a mainstream talking head, Tucker Carlson, who repeats the mainstream news talking points, right? And then Tucker Carlson kisses his ass to start the show like, oh, you're one of the most censored comedians, right? And then you go watch the InfoWars clip. Yeah. Owen Benjamin's one of the most censored comedians. They're always trying to censor people like me and Owen, right? They got to give you the same boo-hoo Owen's being censored story. Yeah. RY wants Buster Rhymes, woo-ha, got you all in check. Yeah. Woo-ha! Got you all in check. Woo-ha! Got you all in check. Yeah. Oh yeah. And then one last thing. Woo-ha! Got you all in check. There you go. That's about the best you're going to get out of me. That's about as many of the lyrics as I can remember. You're challenging me with the Busta Rhymes stuff. Like, God, I haven't listened to Busta Rhymes since like the 90s. Fuck. Having to like try and access the fading memories of Busta Rhymes' most famous rap songs. What was that? Late 90s, early 2000s, like early 2000s. That might have been the last time I listened to Busta Rhymes recreationally. All right.
You get something named after you, where I can actually live with my family there and not be creeped out when people are staying there because it's so fucking big. And bear in mind, I'm not saying everyone's moving to Beartaria. Just understand that. For the record, I'm not starting a town. I'm starting a retreat. I'm starting a place where people can come on retreat, bring their families, like learn shit.
This is the fast talking Owen. It's not a town, or this is a retreat. It's a retreat. You're going to retreat to Bertaria. Oh, a retreat. That sounds fancy. So now it's not just a campground. It's a retreat. His words, not mine. Don't anyone try and say that I'm making up shit about Owen. We're looking at the land scam right now. Just reminding everybody what happened. Being this guy's getting promoted on Tucker Carlson all of a sudden. I just want to show everybody who he really is and what he really did long ago to his most loyal supporters. A lot of them who don't support him anymore.
Commune with each other, grow things, learn how to homestead. Guys, that's our hill. This dream will come true. I'll earn the money from my own house and land, and I will always designate a portion for the Bears because of all the generosity I've seen. I will. I come through. Even if I have to sell everything I have, the majority of the money is still going to be coming from me, but I can't afford it all myself, and I want you guys to be a part of it. And I could right now, with my money and Bertaria money, buy land and be like, okay, you guys have campgrounds. So instead of the $40, it's not about money. It's about love.
The promises changed daily.
Listen to that line. It's not about money. It's about love.
I can't afford it all myself, and I want you guys to be a part of it. And I could right now, with my money and Bertaria money, buy land and be like, okay, you guys have campgrounds. So instead of the $40, it's not about money. It's about love.
The promises changed daily. First, land for the Bears, then land for his family, then land for a community campground.
So what do you guys think of me and Amy and the boys and the family getting a home area?
All right, so we've got a comment here from Birdman. Says, he said he would give anyone a refund who wanted one for the land scam. He did not refund anyone. He smeared anyone who asked. Yeah, he would be like, the beta gamma males want a refund. Hey, I already told you, you guys, you knew what you were donating to, and you guys think you can just show up to my property. I'll have you arrested. And if you show up to my property uninvited, then you're never allowed there again. Exactly. And then what he's saying now is like, there is no land scam. If anyone feels like there is a land scam, why don't you sue me? Anyone who thinks like they got scammed, yeah, go ahead and try and sue me. So he acts like because nobody has successfully sued him for this scam that he pulled, that therefore there isn't one. Because, there is no such thing as a scam unless somebody gets sued for it. Then it becomes an official scam. So since he hasn't officially been sued for the scam, well, then there's no scam, according to Owen. Yeah, he's a fast-talking, sneaky piece of shit. And not only has he never done anything funny, this is the type of stuff that I would always find. And I would show it to people and tell people about it. And there would always be these people who would make excuses who would just keep following him anyway. So I know no matter what I show, there's still going to be bears who want to shove their head up this guy's ass and think that he's some funny comedian who's telling the truth about Israel. Nope. Just a talentless hack who scammed his most loyal subs and supporters during a time when they were very vulnerable.
Because trying to find a land with a house on it that is good enough for Amy for feeling good in the winter, because winters are tough in North Idaho. With like 100 acres is the fundraising is going excellent. I say let's set a goal. Let's try and hit 300K by August 1st. It's a good goal.
The money games. Once the greed engine kicked in, Owen worked the emotional levers. One stream he'd say they'd hit $200,000 in the first 24 hours. Another stream he'd set a goal of $300,000 by month's end. Numbers floated, shifted, disappeared, like the math was made of fog.
Because I was so pumped. We got 10% of our goal immediately without even really, just from streaming from piano last night. So this is the plan moving forward. the best way to do this is we dream and come up with stuff, but don't dream in a way that's like you get resentful or it didn't come true. Like right now, last night we had this amazing stream about Bertaria, Ursa Mountain. We fundraised 10% of $2 million immediately just from that stream.
10% of $2 million. Wow. So you fundraised 200K. That's what he's admitting to. So the numbers would change. He would admit to different numbers at different points. So I would argue that he may have gotten a lot more than he's even letting on.
No, we're all fired up. It's perfect. All this. And then my realtor's like, oh, they already have 4 offers and you need proof of funds in 3 days for 1.7 million. I'm like, oh, well, that's the end of that.
On stream, he told his followers that he couldn't buy the original crowdfunded property because he didn't have proof of funds for around $1.5 million. But the fire sale tells a different story. He absolutely did. Over the next few weeks, he floated number after number, hoping no one would track the math.
How much you raised? I think like 70 grand.
Long pause. Think like 70 grand. Watch how that number's going to change and increase dramatically. Jake doing the Lord's work. I love you, Jake. Thanks for exposing the shills. Hey, you know, if I don't do it, then who will? So the good news is there are other people out there exposing Owen. And this video right here, it's on an AI channel, but there's a human who is out there who has a desire to expose Owen. So they use this AI channel to post these videos of Owen. And I got to say, it's probably one of the best uses of AI I have ever seen on this platform. So as you guys have probably noticed, there's a AI personality in this video explaining the land scam, but everything that he's explained, the AI character, has been accurate as far as I know. And the clips included of Owen are perfect examples of showing exactly what he did and said and told his audience to qualify the whole thing as being considered a scam. So I would say that this AI channel with these Owen Benjamin videos on there, whoever is behind it is doing an excellent job. And I'm going to be totally honest, it isn't me. So yeah, I found this channel a couple nights ago exposing Owen. And I thought, man, this is pretty good, comprehensive stuff. And it includes all the clips of Owen convincing his followers to donate. So I don't have to explain it all to you guys. I can show it to you. So I guess there are some good uses for AI. And this is definitely one of them right here.
Guys, we've raised $70,000 for Bertaria. I know the original goal was $2 million immediately. And we get... Guys, that's unbelievable. That's
and thank you to Wise Ram for this super chat. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you for the kind words. And I'm glad you are enjoying the show. Let the shill busting continue.
Phenomenal. People just have looked at that link and said, and that's just from the digital. And they've said, yeah, I want to contribute to that. Why? Because I'm a fucking power plant. You know I'm not a liar. People have given me $70,000 and just said, make something great. I believe in you.
I think I raised like 270 or something. And it was 91,000 in taxes and the land's like 185,000. It was like very, very down to the wire. Oh, it might be nice to have your money. I have like no money now. I just paid $91,000 in taxes and bought Bertaria lands. That's all my money.
All right, so someone here, Teddy Ghost, is saying this is all taken from Milker Nation's documentary with no credit given. So I have exposed Owen in the past, and I've used other people's videos exposing Owen. And so I want to try and give credit to anyone who makes these videos. So I can't say for sure who's behind this AI channel, but I've seen other channels like Texas Goat Radio and Covert Radio and a few other channels I can't remember off the top of my head who've done good work exposing Owen. So I'm just resharing the clips to show people what was done and said. So if you know where it came from and it's this documentary you talk about, then proper credit to them is deserved. So there you go.
But I'm still working on selling that effing house. I'll get a nice infusion once that goes through. So, everything's going smoothly, but fucking IRS. Do you think it will be my super Jewish accountant today told me he was proud of me. It meant a lot to me. He gets it.
And when he needed more money, he cried on stream and moved the goalposts.
This is what I'm facing in this Patreon bullshit. The threats, the financial threats. That's what my dad did to me my whole childhood. You have to get to a point when you say, it's only money, or else you're fucked. Or else you're bragging about how many bars you have. You're laughing about all the pedophiles in your parishes. I know that path. And yeah, I don't like firing up the live stream and being all weepy and fucking sad, but this isn't sadness. This isn't despair. This is triumph. And it makes your voice do that. And I don't like it. I don't like talking like this. I feel like a pussy. But it is what it is. This is how trauma gets out. His fight were the bangers that took his house when he was a kid. So fucking true. Like your fight is in your heart. My fight is my fucking dad just going, we're going to be kicked out at any moment. All
right. So this channel's called AI Grift Patrol. And it looks like it's dedicated specifically to busting Owen Benjamin. So I haven't went through and watched all these videos, but definitely some stuff here, I'm sure, if you want to uncover more about Owen Benjamin. There was one video that I did want to show a little clip from. Here it is, this one.
And if there are actually people that feel robbed that they donate, which I don't believe exist, they have no problem taking me to small claims court. And I don't think those people even exist. I think it's all bullshit. And they know that there's legal recourses where if you feel that you were betrayed by me, there's legal recourses. And I encourage you to do that.
So he doesn't think that there's anyone who feels ripped off by donating to Bertaria. And there's legal recourse. So just go sue him.
Is where if you feel that you were betrayed by me, there's legal recourses. And I encourage you to do that.
Ursa Rio, the campground that couldn't, exposing Owen Benjamin's $1 million bear lie. Owen Benjamin promised his fans, affectionately called bears, a dream.
Guys, I wasn't going to start looking into bear trail stuff, but the perfect one is for sale. And the Patreon lawsuit is so absurd, I don't want it to hold me up anymore.
In the beginning, Owen...
Guys, that's our hill.
What he actually delivered? A patch of sloped forest, a few DIY sheds, and the most blatant camping grift since Fire Festival tried to rent cabanas on credit. The promise versus the math. The claim. Every one of the 700 bears gets 2 weeks of camping a year.
Do you guys think we can do this? We can, right? It's in the bag. Yeah. We got to raise $2 million in a week. And then I'll figure out taxes. Dude, I don't even know about how any of this works. I have
got to raise $2 million in a week. Bears. Bertaria campground.
Family.
The most heroic thing you can do in these times right now is to have a large and fruitful family and to not back down to your faith. You know, not wearing a mask is a courageous act. It's because you have a right to do that. That's where you really fight. Don't take the vaccine. Don't wear the mask. You know, don't be a coward.
So he uses that don't take the vax, don't wear your mask talk to rally up support in his community. And then he uses that as a sales pitch to come to Bertaria. And if you donate 400 or more, you can stay for 2 weeks at my Bertaria retreat, right? So he comes off like, I'm a good guy. I don't want you to get vaxxed. I don't want you to wear a mask. I'm totally against that sort of thing. So if you want to come hang out with me in Bertaria. I'll give you 2 weeks camping on Bertaria Paradise. All we need to do, just need to raise $2 million in a week.
Really fight. Don't take the vaccine. Don't wear the mask.
To build all these stone cabins and shoot a documentary and all this shit. And we're doing that in this next 2 weeks without any real plan.
Yeah, it's one of the best things about not having plans is we can't go off plan because it doesn't exist. To be a part of this and to crowdfund a documentary and land and building materials, you know, I spent all of it. Well, I haven't yet, but I'm close.
Section 2, the cabins. Instead of building 54 campsites, Owen and his unqualified project manager, Sam Mitchell, decided to go all in on 6 cabins. These weren't budget cabins. These were boutique apocalypse bunkers with deep concrete foundations and massive lumber beams. Each cabin sits on a 12 by 12 or 20 by 20 concrete pad poured 1 foot thick with trench footings up to 5 feet deep. Total concrete used, over 140 cubic yards. In 2021, during the pandemic, concrete prices in rural Idaho hit $180 to $250 per yard. That's a concrete bill between $25,000 and $35,000 just for the pads. Now let's talk lumber. Each corner of these cabins is framed with 10 by 10 uprights, industrial grade timbers, notched and bolted. In 2021, those cost $200 to $250 each. Add in rafters, beams, cordwood walls, mortar, metal roofs, and trim, and you're looking at $9,000 to $11,000 per cabin, easily.
So basically, he got all this crew involved, and now none of the crew are allowed to come back there. None of the crew are bears anymore. So all the people who helped him and helped build the cabins and stuff there, all those people no longer like Owen. So just showing you guys what the campground turned into. It turned into Owen's personal house. And then he changed the rules and said you can't come there.
Fuck with the government. Like, I'm not a liar. I'm not a degenerate. I've never been arrested. I've never been accused of a crime. So that's it. I have a zoning violation at a private property in North Idaho. And I'm taking it so seriously, I hired a lawyer and they're still dancing around. Guys, don't get in the upside down world of the legal governmental system, because that's how they own you.
Section 5, Anthony Cumia roasts the scam.
He goes, oh, dude, if everyone out there gives me 400.
So Anthony Cumia, who's kind of another shill bag, but at least he's not known for a land scam. Anthony Cumia calls out the land scam on his show. So he's been called out for this over and over again, but I guess enough times passed that a bunch of people have forgotten.
Section 5, Anthony Cumia roasts the scam.
He goes, oh, dude, if everyone out there gives me $400, I can buy this giant plot of land and put cabins on it. And here's everything he said, like shooting ranges, homeschooling, fishing classes, hunting lessons, how to make clothes, how to farm, how to build structures. It's going to be this great thing. And if you contributed $400, you could come on anytime you want. Just show up and you'll have a cabin to camp in. It's like this utopian society of bears. Bertaria, they're calling it Bertardia.
Even Anthony Cumia caught the grift on air with receipts. He nailed it. There was no plan, just fundraising.
And then it started becoming apparent to him that this was illegal. He's raising money. He's going to buy a plot of land. There's no real expectation to the investment. He goes, it's not investment. And then he had to start saying it's not investment. It's donation. You're donating to me. I will buy this. This will be mine. But we're going to have shooting ranges. We're going to have fishing. And you're all invited. It's going to be great. When he got as much money as I think he knew he was going to get, and he couldn't milk any more out of it, he bought a 10-acre plot of land. It's his. No one else owns this. And the community around it said, yeah, this isn't commercial property. You can't just put cabins and have people stay there. So he had to pull everything back. And there wasn't any camping. There wasn't any any fucking shooting range, homeschooling, fishing, teaching of making clothes and farms.
Section 6, the zoning commission lie. He lied to the zoning board, denied crowdfunding, didn't tell his cult the hearing was happening. The only reason we know is because Hoax Wars leaked the audio.
And so I'm really glad that you got to hear us today, and I hope the community understands me a little better. And you don't need to like me. I understand. I do controversial jokes, but I'm not like I'm fully aware that everything I do is public, especially a zoning commission meeting. I measured my words very specifically.
No, you didn't, Owen. You wanted the land rezoned without your followers hearing you lie to a government official.
Yeah, I mean, there's a piece of land I now have my eye on. It's on a river. That's all I'm going to say. And with permission. And I mean that with love.
I was looking for the part where he says that you can't show up. If you don't have permission and you show up, he'll get you arrested. I think I finally found it. I was looking for this certain clip. Here it is.
And we're going to, and with permission. You are
front, and then the classic bait and switch happened where, hey, this is my property. I told you it was. I told you this is a donation. I'm not saying you're able to come up. If people just show up, you're going to be arrested. Like, you can't just show up.
Yeah, any chance my wife and I could renew our vows under God at Ursa Rio someday? Yeah, someday. And we're going to, and with permission. And I mean that with love. Anybody that doesn't understand the stress we're under or what the narratives are trying to post, anybody that goes there without permission will never be allowed back.
Anybody who goes there without permission will never be allowed back. Oh, but you said that everyone who donates 400 or more gets 2 weeks of vacation there. You didn't say it had to be a certain 2 weeks. You didn't say you have to get your permission. How's everybody who donated supposed to get into contact with Owen to get their permission to come do their 2 weeks of camping, right? So this is when he changed the rules, and this is when it officially becomes a scam. It's like, oh, you're not holding up your end of the fucking bargain. If you'd actually let like all your bears show up whenever they wanted and do 2 weeks on your land, well, then technically I wouldn't consider that a scam. If they donated and then they actually showed up, hung out with Owen, watched his comedy, jerked off with him for 2 weeks on his property, and they thought that it was well worth it, well, then that wouldn't be a scam, in my opinion. But the fact that he didn't hold up his end of the bargain, this is what caused a lot of his bears to realize he's a scammer and then call him out. So he lost a lot of his audience when he changed his tune right here. If you go there, you'll be arrested. You have to have permission. And I mean that with love.
And if they're really crazy about it, you will be arrested. It's private property. There's no, and there was never entitlements. My goal was every donor that donated 400 or more has access to a couple weeks of camping a year. I can do that legally in all I've researched the codes and all that now, but if I don't know the people or they've displayed any weird behavior, they're not invited. Anybody that goes without my permission ever is not only never invited again, but depending on the situation, you're trespassing on private property.
See how quick that changed, guys? Anyone who shows up uninvited, you're never welcome again, and you're trespassing on private property. Newt Tartarian says it sucks because back during COVID, it felt like society was full on collapsing. So people would throw 400 at anything that sounded plausible. I can't stress that enough, that he took advantage of his biggest supporters during a time when people were most vulnerable. So yeah, there was a lot of us who didn't know what was going to happen. People weren't thinking straight. And so to promise your supporters the world, promise them all this stuff that's going to happen on this land, this fantasy. And then, if you go there without permission, then you're never welcome back again. It's one of the most despicable fucking scams that I've ever seen anybody like do with a straight face and then keep going on camera acting like they didn't do that. So the fact this guy continues to go on camera and act like he didn't scam his fans back then makes him such a huge piece of shit in my book. And that's why he deserves to be called out like this, you know? That's why I'm doing it. That's why there's other channels doing it as well. That's the thing. If you're a true piece of shit, people out there will dedicate time and energy into exposing how big of a piece of shit you are. And they'll do it for free, some of them. What Jake the Fake is saying is absolutely ridiculous. Owen Benjamin is a flat earther and he's a man of God. And the flat earth is God's creation, just like it says in the Bible. And Owen Benjamin is a true Christian man. So whatever you hear Jake the Fake saying about Owen, it's damage control. And that's because Jake the Fake is trying to make the flat earth look stupid. Everybody knows that the sun shrinks into a dot when it sets. And that's because it's a biblical flat earth truth. Owen Benjamin, he's one of God's most favorite sons. There you go. That's probably what RV would say. There you go. RY wanting some Russian vids. All right. RY says, can you do a parody of Billy Joel, Piano Man, but do something like Build Me Bertaria, You're the Piano Man. Oh my gosh. Billy Joel's Piano Man. Hold on. Well, it's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. The regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. He says, son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but Owen Benjamin wants me to donate money to him so we can go to Bertardia now. La da 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 da. Sing us a song, Owen Benjamin, a song that we all want to sing, because we're all in the mood for a 6-foot gay bear to make us feel everything. I don't know. That's probably stupid. I should probably never sing that song again. Piano Man with Owen Benjamin. Yeah, you really put me on the spot there. All right. Sunflower says, Jake, did you hear that Adam Sandler married Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce? What a crock. Oh, you mean like he was the one who married them? No, I didn't know that. I heard that they got married at a secret wedding or something, but I haven't looked into it or watched any videos about it. So no, I did not know that. Sunflower, that's a very generous donation. I feel like I should do something with this besides just read it. And do you, Miss Taylor Swift, take this man, Travis Kelce, to be your loyal, lawful husband until death do you part? I do. Well then, by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you man and man. You may kiss the man. Stop looking at me, swan. All right. There you go. All right, a little Adam Sandler marrying Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. All right. Yeah, wasn't planning on that.
Again, but depending on the situation, you're trespassing on private property. It's just, and also I love, one of the things I love about Idaho is their
their laws. And so I'm going to have, cameras on my property. So because if someone comes on your property intending to do you harm, you can shoot them.
Wow, now he's going to have cameras on Bertaria so that if any trespassers show up, he can shoot them. Wow. Yeah, you notice how the narrative changed from like, whoa, it's Bertaria. We're going to have Bertaria, you guys. And there's going to be a merry-go-round. There's going to be ponies. There's going to be unicorn riding lessons. And it's going to be, we're going to teach our kids how to become men. Yeah, but if you show up there, then I'll have you arrested. If you don't have my permission, then I'll shoot you. I'm going to have cameras all over. And I'll shoot you if you show up there without my permission. Ah, yes. Sounds like such a splendid paradise. So, do we got any Owen Benjamin taint lickers here tonight who want to stick up for him and argue that I'm wrong? There's usually one or two. Jake, dude, you're just jealous that you don't have a piece of land as beautiful as Owen's. And Jake, bro, you're obviously jealous of Owen's mansion that he acquired totally legally with donations from his supporters who were very happy to help him acquire the land and his house. So, dude, with all due respect, you sound like a jealous hater right now, calling out Lord Owen. And Owen was recently on Tucker Carlson's show, and that's because Tucker Carlson is helping Owen get the truth out about Israel. So, Jake, dude, maybe you should just stick to football, bro, because Owen Benjamin is like a freaking legend, bro. Remember that time he went on InfoWars with Alex Jones, dude? Yeah. You don't get invited by InfoWars or Alex Jones, Jake. So I can see why you're so jealous of this super funny genius comedian Owen, why he's getting all the opportunities while you just fade away, That's right. All this is just because I'm jealous that he's so funny and talented and has such beautiful land and such a beautiful home. And I'm just not smart enough to scam you guys for that much money. So guess I'm stuck here in this tiny, shitty closet of an office, stuck not being a scammer. Now, that's the thing. I've called this dude out for years, and there's usually a few people who will attack me and be like, fuck you, man. I'm unsubscribing. Owen is hilarious. And you're not even a fraction of as funny as he is. Fuck you. Yeah, those type of people exist. I've been dealing with it since 2020. Ever since I called out Owen for the first time years ago, I've always had to deal with these Owen dick lickers who want to tell me that I'm wrong about him. Yep. Chris Pierman says they want to pick the dingleberries out of his butt crack. Yeah, I'm pretty convinced that Owen Benjamin's supporters at this point, the people who are still in his corner, they're attracted to him. And so they want to have like a homosexual relationship with him. And so that's like the only reason I can think that any of his Bertaria loser fans are still watching him at this point. Yes, Jake's still live. Hit the thumbs up, y'all. Still live. We've been here almost 3 hours. Time flies when you're having fun. And I've had a fun time exposing these liars and scammers for you guys tonight. If you guys have enjoyed, the stream tonight, hook a brother up with a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. You know, doing this job is hard, and you guys know as well as I do, there ain't no one else who's going to come along and do this job. So you're looking at the last of the real superheroes left in the world actually exposing bad guys. So with that said, do your boy a solid, hit the thumbs up, support real truth, support real comedy, support a real guy. Yes. All right. All right. And then one last video before we go. It's short. I saw the stupidest, fittest flat earther video I've ever seen. I didn't think Tyler was capable of making the stupidest video that I've ever seen in my life, but he did. So I'm going to show what I consider to be Tyler's most ridiculous video to this point. You guys tell me what you think.
There was this meme going around of me and Patrick Mahomes. And so I started to just get really into him. Is he your favorite now? He's my favorite now.
Let me start out by saying, if you're not really aware of my work, this probably isn't a good one to start on because it's going to go way over your head. But if you are aware of my work, you know one of the things I continuously say is they bring their wives with them. And well, that was an interesting predicament. So I thought to myself, well, I don't know much about Sarah Gilbert, aka Darlene from Roseanne, but if this is true, I bet she's married to a woman.
So you guys already know where this one's going. He's going to fucking claim that Darlene from Roseanne is Patrick Mahomes. Sarah Gilbert is the Kansas City Chiefs quarterback, you guys.
So I looked it up, and lo and behold, I was absolutely correct. And
Sarah Gilbert is married to a woman, man, thing.
Well, do you know what Pat Mahomes' wife looks like? Well, here's Darlene's wife, and here's Pat, and here's Pat's wife.
Clearly, Pat Mahomes is married to the same woman creature as Darlene. This is obvious. I mean, side-by-side comparison. There's no way this can be fake.
And here's the two of them with a little bit better angle. And when you push their heads together, well, you can see for yourself.
So there you go. Darlene from Roseanne is the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. And they have the same wife. See? It's impossible to fake this, you guys. Shapeshifter confirmed.
And her name is Linda Perry. She was in the band Four Blondes. She was a singer. And well, not only did I think they looked strikingly similar, especially in the eyes, but I also noticed a resemblance that they both had to another singer that I'm familiar with. Linda Perry, who is a singer, and Pat Mahomes' wife, who is a former professional soccer player, just happened to share a very similar resemblance in my eyes to one Christina Aguilera.
Pat Mahomes is Darlene, who's married to Christina Aguilera and this other lady too. Yeah, of course. I see it now. It's all coming together. Tyler, he's just a lot of genius, this guy, and he sees things that most us peasants would never spot. You know, he's got special powers given to him by the Almighty Heavenly Father to see through these shapeshifters' deceptions. Whereas normies like me and you, we would never be able to know that Christina Aguilera is also the wife of Patrick Mahomes.
Christina Aguilera, who is very actively involved in professional soccer. She's an investor and partner in a women's league. Kind of just like Pat Mahomes' wife, Brittany, is a former professional soccer player, and she also is an investor. Now, again, I said I saw a very similar resemblance, and I know sometimes I see things that others can't, but I think this one very much.
Yeah, guys, sometimes he sees things that mere mortals like you and I just can't see because we were not born with the magical ability to spot the shapeshifters like Tyler. But the evidence speaks for itself.
So speaks for itself. But you be the judge. But one more minute. Let me first show you that contrary to what you might think on how they might not really match, even though they have the exact same nose. Well,
see, look, guys, you think it's some sort of joke that Darlene from Roseanne, Sarah Gilbert, is Patrick Mahomes? You think I was kidding? You think Tyler's kidding? You think this is a grift? You think he's trolling? This is fucking serious, you guys. These freaking shapeshifters deceiving the whole world. God bless Tyler Hansen for seeing through the deceptions and explaining it to us tard muffins who are too dumb to notice. Thank you, Tyler Hansen, for exposing this. I would have never known. I used to watch Roseanne when I was a kid. I never knew that I was looking at the future Kansas City quarterback, Super Bowl winning quarterback. I never knew back when I was watching Roseanne back in the early 90s that I was looking at the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs from the 2020s.
they're a perfect fit. Watch everything flow over perfectly. Eyebrows, eyes, all across. She's smiling a little smaller, but that's it. And if you allow me, I just have a few more things to show you, like those two that are in the exact same place.
Oh, same freckle. You guys, Darlene is Patrick Mahomes. Duh. I don't know how you guys haven't noticed. It's been right in our face all this time.
Right here. And if we scroll on down, you're going to see two other marks. And the quality isn't the best on this photo, but there's one and one.
Good enough quality for me. I'm sold.
And you'll notice they're at the same angle. 1 and 1, 2 and 2. Angled, angled. Exact same spot on the exact same spot of their face. And speaking of exact same spot, notice how I lined up their eyes perfectly here, the eyelids. And then I want you to come down here and notice how they're all across.
So there you guys go. That's got to be the dumbest, fittest flat earther video I've ever seen. So I didn't think it was possible to make like the stupidest fucking video ever. But that, in my opinion, has to be one of the most ridiculous things I have ever seen. And here's the thing is like, it'd be different if like he would just be like, I'm kidding you guys. I'm just having fun. But no, he tricks people into believing it. Oh yeah. Let me show you some of the comments. So I know some of the comments are going to be fake, but I also think that there are real people who are falling for this. Dude, you're taking them all down one by one. This is amazing. I see it even before you match them up. Awesome work. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Oh my God, yes. And Patrick Mahomes is always smiling like he has a secret, like a genie in a bottle. This one is incredible. 10 out of 10. Never, ever will look at Sarah Gilbert and Pat Mahomes the same ever again. They are here walking amongst us, and it's absolutely crazy. Now here's the thing, guys. I know some of those might be bot comments, but some of them I actually think are real. And so that means that this guy, Tyler, can pump out content like this, and there are going to be people who believe it and then share it. And then the sad thing is, you guys, he gets more views than I do. So I can say it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen, but he got 27,000 views and 1,800 thumbs up for this. Now, I know views can be faked and whatnot, but right now, in 2026, he's getting more views than I am by saying shit like that. So, how much time should I spend making a video where I take time and edit and put background music in there and spend hours and hours to make a good video for you guys, and then I upload it and hardly anyone watches it and only gets like 4,000 or 5,000 views. And then I click over and see this. Darlene is Patrick Mahomes, and it gets 27,000 views. Kind of hard to get motivated. Kind of hard for me to wake up and be like, I can't wait to work all day long on a video. I want to spend 12 hours making a really well-edited video so that I can get less than 5,000 views. Meanwhile, Tyler Hansen can take a fucking diarrhea into the camera in the form of Darlene is Patrick Mahomes, and he's going to get 27,000 views. So the guy has more subs, gets more views. And it doesn't seem to like take him down. Like if I make this stream right here and expose that he's a fucking liar, like saying the stupidest shit ever, it doesn't seem to stop him. So even when I expose these clowns and point out that they're lying, they're discrediting the real truth that celebrities are using disguises and hyper-realistic masks to play multiple roles. It's what the whole point of this fallen angel shit is. It's to discredit the truth that I'm telling about people using hyper-realistic masks and celebrities being replaced, celebrities being playing multiple roles. Yeah, that real truth that I'm telling, it's being purposely discredited by this piece of shit who gets more views than I do. So yeah, you know, next time you see one of my videos, you know, and you click on it, you're watching a real guy who spent real time trying to deliver a real message. And I do things the old-fashioned way, where I, you know, go on camera and deliver my message and then try and edit the video in a way that makes it engaging for you guys. And it takes a lot of time and effort to make a video the old-fashioned way, whereas the videos that Fetus Flat Earther makes, he can crap that out in less than an hour every day. So I guess here on YouTube now, in order to get promoted, you have to be able to quickly crap out some slop. And then if you can do that every day, crap out some slop content to make everyone stupider, then you'll get promoted. But if you take time and make a video that's well edited and has background music and delivers a truthful message, well, maybe you'll get lucky if they show that to a fraction of your subscribers. But, you know, what can I do about it? I can't fix this shit. So when you see me uploading a video, you know, doing it the old-fashioned way, just know I'm trying, still trying to do things the correct way, but it's getting harder and harder when I see the shills uploading diarrhea and getting all those views and all the people in the comment section kissing their ass. What makes it even extra bad is when they say, Jake, I think that you're cool and Tyler's cool. I like you and Tyler. Why can't you guys just get along? I've had people tell me, Jake, I'm subscribed to you and I'm subscribed to Tyler. I like both you guys. And I'm like, wow, here I am, a real guy who does real research and tells real truth. And somebody's telling me that they're subscribed to this And they're also subscribed to Tyler, and they like what he does as well. And why can't we all just get along? Yeah. So I know that not everybody has that opinion, but man, I got to tell you, there are actual people out there who follow that Tyler and they like what he has to say and they are confused why I don't like him. Anyway. Yes, Patrick Mahomes has a slight resemblance to Sarah Gilbert. But if you actually think Sarah Gilbert goes out there and plays pretend football and chucks the fucking ball 60 yards down the field, well, then you are absolutely retarded. And if you think shape-shifting allows Darlene to be Patrick Mahomes, like Patrick Mahomes, in order to play his pretend football position correctly, he's got to do some athletic things. He's got to make some crazy throws. He's got to scramble around in the pocket. He's got to get tackled. He's got to pretend to be injured. He's got to do a lot to play his part as a fake footballer. And to think that Sarah Gilbert, Darlene from Roseanne, is the one actually doing that, that is mental illness of an unfathomable degree. But yes, there is a resemblance. Enough resemblance that a guy like Tyler can make a video saying that they're the same person and actually get people to fucking believe it. If there's something weird and it don't look good, who you gonna call? Shill Busters. If there's something strange in your neighborhood, who you gonna call? Shill Busters. Man, 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 man. I ain't afraid of no shills. There you go. All right, I've been on here for over 3 hours. Let me read any final super chats, and then I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up because I'm getting tired. Need to eat some food. So RY says, please show the Elmo Grover Fittest Flat Earther video that you made. All right. Before we wrap it up, we'll show Elmo Grover Fittest Flat Earther video. Parody video. And that's one of my members only videos. So lucky for you guys, you're going to get to see some of my members only content. So those of you who are lucky enough to be watching right now, please enjoy Fittest Flat Earther parody, Elmo is Grover, as requested by RY.
When you know that the whole world is scripted, like I do, then you can see right through these puppets. See this guy right here? Looks an awful lot like this guy right here. They're the same puppet. They're shapeshifters. They're vampires. So clearly you can see the symmetry between this puppet right here and this puppet right here. And obviously, in a side-by-side comparison, it's not too hard to tell. These are the same puppet. Now, if you're going to want to see some proof that you can hang your hat on, look no further than right here. This little piece of fur, an exact match for this piece of fur. Proof that Elmo is Grover. They're the same puppet. And of course, this is just for entertainment purposes only. I don't really believe any of this. Or do I?
There you go. All right. That one dedicated to RY. That was one of my first Fittest Flat Earther parody videos that I ever made. All right. Got AI Grift Patrol. You guys, the AI channel who we were watching earlier is here. It says, you called it years ago. Blowin' is a confirmed shill. Well, that's cool. So I don't know who is behind this channel, and here they are donating. So I guess word got back to whoever is in control of the channel that I was showing some of their videos about Owen. So thank you for cataloging those clips of Owen. It's important that that footage is out there for people to find. And every so often, I don't mind re-showing that footage, because it's clear that Owen most definitely promised his loyal subscribers of the world on that campground, or what was supposed to be a campground, and then what it turned out to be, and then the rules that he put in place afterwards. That's one of the scuzziest, sleaziest scams I have ever seen a YouTuber pull on their own audience, or any entertainer pull on their own audience. So yeah, thank you, AI Grift Patrol, for cataloging all those video clips. And there's still several videos on your channel that I haven't even looked at yet. So I'm sure there's more juicy tidbits of Owen Benjamin being exposed that I haven't even seen yet, that I can go back and watch later. So I will be watching some more of your content. So if you guys like watching the Owen Benjamin expose videos, subscribe to this AI Grift Patrol channel. All right. Rex James says, Jake, I just wanted you to know I took a break from spreading boxes of Lone Star ticks in wealthy neighborhoods to watch your live tonight. I heard about that, but I haven't covered it. But yeah, I heard that there were these genetically modified, geoengineered ticks, and they're tied back to Bill Gates. So you know how they like to use Bill Gates as like the diabolical nerd who's trying to kill everyone. So they tie this Lone Star tick shit back to Bill Gates. Like, Bill Gates is the one responsible for funding the geoengineered Lone Star ticks. That son of a bitch. He's such a mean, diabolical nerd. I hate that asshole for spreading all those Lone Star ticks. Yeah. Yeah, over here in California, there are ticks, but they're a little more rare. So every great once in a while, one will jump on me, or one will jump on my dog, but I don't see them that often. But I don't really like ticks, so that's a good thing. But yeah, my last dog that I had, Rusty, one time he got one on him, and I didn't notice for like a day or two. So it was like one of those big ones that like it blows up with blood. So if you don't catch the tick right away, and it sucks blood on your dog or on you or whatever, on any animal, then it gets all huge and filled with blood. Then they're nasty looking. Nate X, the original, says, thanks, Jake and Ralphie. Happy subscriber here. Speaking of, Ralph needs to make a quick appearance. Ralphie, come on. Come on, come on, Bird. There's Ralpher. There's my boy. He was sleeping, huh? You sleeping, Ralphie? Ralphie was sleeping. Yeah, go for a walk. Don't go outside, go for a walk, Ralph. All right. There is no Ralphie. Let me tell you something, people. There's no such thing as a Ralphie. He's an animatronic robot dog, the same as Vern Troyer. There's no such thing as a mini-me. Vern Troyer, let me tell you something, people. Him was an animatronic robot. That dog that you see on the TV right now, there's no dog that's actually that cute, people. That dog looked like a fucking Disney character. He's not even real. He's an animatronic robot dog, people. I hit you with the bam. I'm gone. Arf, 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 arf. All right. One last super chat here before we shut her down. Kelly Yamaguchi says, do Indian 49ers fan float in space with Ralphie? Oh, boy. This is finally the year that the 49er is going to win the Super Bowl. And I am so excited because I have front row seats to see the season opening game, my friend. Me and Shabir, we're going to take the day off of work and we're going to get all kinds of fucked up at the tailgate party, my friend. And I am going to bring Ralphie, and he's going to sit in a custom-made chair inside of the 49er stadium, and he will be honored at halftime for being the most loyal fan of the 49er. Oh, he's heavy. Whew. Like a trying to hold a 50-pound dog while I'm floating in space. Whew. He was wondering what's going on. He's like, Ralph's like, this isn't something we normally do. All right. I am getting tired though, guys. I do got to get off here. RY says, you made might night, Jake. I made might night. Well, I'm glad, and I hope you feel all right. So until next time, y'all, this is your favorite YouTuber and mine. I had a fun time tonight. This was a good stream. And hopefully you go back and watch any part that you missed. And if you're watching the replay, hit the thumbs up button. If you're still here watching live, before you go on your way out, hit the thumbs up button. I would appreciate it. And until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Thursday night. And we'll see if I can't stream again maybe Saturday night. So if I can find something to talk about between now and Saturday, I'll do another stream. So until the next stream or the next video, peace out. Much love. You guys are awesome. All the support tonight was great. I love you guys. So thanks for all of that. And I will see all of y'all next time. This is Jake and Ralph signing out. Bye-bye. Good night.